Oh, hi there. We're back. So, you made it for the entire stream for once. I do actually have the chat up right now, so if you guys want to yell stuff at us, feel free to do so at the moment. But we fixed the issue. We're good to go. So, welcome back. Those of you that are new here, we are a group of friends that play Dungeons & Dragons every single Monday night. And we just do a homebrew game and put it on the internet for everybody else to watch and hopefully enjoy. We also do a dice giveaway every Monday that is going to be switching up to something new that we're giving away next month. A little tease on that we'll get more into later. And then the dice we're giving away this week are actually, I just realized something, they're the ones that you guys would have seen if you were watching the stream on desktop or on a console whenever it shut down and then came back. Those dice are the ones. You can also see them on the RoleThis Instagram. I think they're 3, maybe 4 posts back. They're the red ones, the glitter gold ruby dice. We got these from our friends over at Tabletop Game and Hobby in Overland Park, Kansas. They have been blessed by the shop cat Tobias, which if you haven't ever looked at Tabletop or anything like that, go to their Instagram, check them out, and you can see Tobias and you can see why he's amazing and wonderful. He runs around the shop and is basically the boss of the place. We also have another thing dice related that we did announce last Monday. We now sell dice on our website. Of course, we have the RoleThis merch as well, the shirts and everything. But now we also have dice on our website. So if you go to shop.rolethis.com, you can buy dice. I think we have a couple of dice trays on there, and then there's some pins as well. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. They're only $5.99 for the dice sets, so they are heavily discounted due to some partnerships we've put in place. So, yeah. Also, next week, Hillary will be MIA. So we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to take a break from our regular normal homebrew game. And Bobby, actually, which I'm switching over to the everyone camera now, Saruman there, will be running a one-shot for myself and Robert. We may have a guest pop in on it, but at the moment, it's looking like just myself and Robert. So it should be pretty cool. And then I think that that's it. But yeah, oh, and once we come back from that, the week after that, starting the first episode we do in June, which will be June 3rd, we will have back to the regular game with Robert and Bobby, and then the week after that, it'll be Bobby and Hillary. So Saruman and Phoenix on that one, and then the one, yeah. It's going to be wild. Whoever you see on the screen next 3 weeks.
Yeah, like a calendar.
Yeah, whoever you see on the screen for the next 3 weeks is who you're going to be seeing. But yeah, don't use your real name, right? Robert D. Cole on absolutely everything.
Ducks. D stands for doctor.
Right. Also, for some reason, my phone was on, so I'm going to fix that now. Yay, D&D on the internet. So, now, getting back into, Jesus, getting away from the Twitch chat and back to D&D Beyond. You guys are wonderful and very amusing. But anyways, sort of recapping quickly where we are. There was a battle that ensued where Caelid Strats was taken underground to a Underdark Drow city, which in this world are the more evilly aligned Drow. They have pledged themselves to the Shadow, which is our overall threat in this game, and Caelid Strats has been imprisoned. Bryn, alone after Maze had abandoned him to help bring Caelid Strats to the prison. Via means of stabbing him in the heart and convincing everyone that she was evil and a bunch of really crazy stuff that you should probably go watch the other episodes to catch up on. They were really, really good. And Bryn was alone. He journeyed down through the caverns to get to this Underdark city. Maze given 3 days worth of time in the city for her aid in bringing Caelid Strats to the prison, was searching around, wondering what to do, how to deal with the situation of the party being so split and all over the place, happened upon a giant wolf spider meandering down the street. Noticing the familiar markings of Bryn's wolf spider form, they came together and snuck down to an alleyway. In this alleyway, they came up with a plan that would potentially save them if they were stopped by anyone. Maze, having her pass of access into the city, could claim that Bryn was a prisoner of hers via the manacles that she had been carrying and had placed upon Bryn. They were stopped by a guard. This guard heard the manacles rattling and shaking all around. Maze tried to make evil small talk, we'll say. And it didn't work at all, very much inflaming the situation, causing the guard to brush her off completely and take possession of the prisoner. A little bit of both, a little possession, custody. He probably feels like he owns you now at this point. They're dragging you through the city in manacles that we're not sure why Maze was even carrying in the first place.
6 pounds lighter, that's totally worth it.
And
heavier than my warhammer.
yeah, right, exactly.
That's crazy.
Upon being placed into the prison, Bryn heard 2 familiar voices, one of Kalitstrat's and his mentor, Halfgren, both of which began to plan their escape alongside Bryn. And now we come to the moment in which potentially they try it. So, to you guys, we are now in the next day. You guys would have had a chance to have rested over the evening, and gather yourselves together, gather your strength back up. Maze would have spent her evening at the inn that she was given access to, now having only 2 days left within the city before her admittance expires. And upon that, her assumption should be that it'd be a pleasant place to be after that. Or there may be some more intense negotiations needed. You two now are able to take things away as you see fit. So there will be a brief moment prior to anything actually entering into the space. At this time, you are all 3 completely alone. Halfgren is there with you as well.
Right.
And there are no other prisoners or anything here, just the 3, you 2, and then Halfgren.
What about the guards?
There are no guards
I'm
in there.
I'm in a separate cell.
So we're, yeah,
right?
you're in a separate cell. So we're at the instance of the shift change, basically, where Halfgren had said that the guards leave for a few moments, kind of report and gather with each other outside, and then the new ones come in shortly after that. You have about a 5 to 10 minute window here of nobody else is in there with you.
At some point, I would like to do a check to try and get out of these manacles.
Yeah, so to escape manacles, is it like a strength check or something
I can
along
do. It
those
says I
lines?
can do either dexterity or strength.
So I think one's if you want to pick the lock, the other one's if you
Yeah,
want to
dexterity would
break
be
it.
like to pick the lock. Strength would be to like.
Yeah, it says escaping requires a successful DC 20 dexterity. Breaking them requires successful DC 20 strength. So
Go for it.
it's gonna be a dexterity.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. You can try to actually.
Otherwise, I would have to roll a 20.
Yep.
Does it anyway.
All right, cool.
Did you roll 20?
I did.
Nice. That's how you start a game.
Yeah.
Conveniently, I rolled a 2. I was like, I'm gonna roll a die too and see what happens.
off.
Rolled a 2 on my big die at that. So
Can't ever roll a 20 when it matters. but
freaking
right
awesome.
now,
well,
it's
I
to
mean,
escape
You
manacles.
know, like jumping through a
it
portal.
could matter.
No.
There you go.
So because it's dexterity, you're kind of picking the lock and getting it open enough to just get your hands out, and then freeing your hands, going down and kind of shimmying apart the lock at your feet as well. And you are now demanticled.
Hooray.
A very good
6 pounds
way to
lighter
be.
too. Yeah.
And these guys only got thrown in a cage. Did they get?
Yeah, they're
I was,
not tied up or anything.
Nearly unconscious.
Yeah, you were.
Right,
he was
yeah.
unconscious when he was
Well,
thrown in,
not
carried.
in
Well,
control of my
yeah.
self.
he was a bag of potatoes.
Right.
And then Halfgren was probably pretty well tied up whenever it went down, knowing what you know of Halfgren's strength and abilities. Excuse me. However, he is not currently tied up in any way.
You each have something to remember Maze by now.
A wound in the heart
wound
and a
in the
set of
heart,
manacles.
yeah, and a
Are you going to
set of
keep the manacles?
I don't really see any reason to. I think I'm just going to toss them into the corner.
Perfect.
So far with it now.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you have something of mine.
Hope you didn't want those back.
Yeah, right?
6 pounds, man.
These things that I don't even know why you had in the first place.
This is off to a good
They're
start.
out of my inventory. Goodbye.
Perfect. All right. No manacles. They are in the corner of the cell.
Where they belong. Where they belong.
Yeah, that's
right.
probably where I found them.
Well, I guess we just wait for them to come back.
So
Unless you've got some tricks.
I'm gonna say you're the man with the plan here. You know I can shapeshift.
Right.
Okay. So as you guys kind of sit there waiting, the two new guards, you hear a as the door opens up, and then two sets of feet walking through. You see them clearly, you two with the weird door. Don't quite see them unless you glance up and look. You can see two male drow enter, fairly plainly clothed, plainly armored, just like leather armor, black leather armor over all of their attire beneath. Just kind of shooting the shit kind of thing, just muttering to themselves quietly as they enter in, and then kind of taking their posts, looking around.
Where are they, roughly?
From
Each other?
So where they are is kind of like right by the door. So they kind of flank this primary door. When you came in, you saw that there were two standing kind of in the shadows in these corners, because the shadows kind of deepen a little bit there.
Right.
And so they were kind of back in there and then stepped forward into the very dim light that exists in this chamber when you were tossed in.
Okay.
So your assumption is that's where they probably are now, based on just kind of where you heard them go. It sounds like they're about in the same position.
Okay. I can't really see them much, really.
I mean, if you kind of get up to the stuff and kind of put your eye to the side of the bars for the little window thing, you'd be able to.
Do they look more or less about the same, strength-wise? Like, does one look stronger than the other?
Make a perception check on that.
Okay. 18 plus whatever.
So over 20, yeah. One of them looks a little bit more seasoned than the other. The one on the left side. However, they both look, as far as rank, they look pretty much the same. This is kind of they're not elite military warriors or anything, but they are just kind
prison guards.
Standard prison guards. The one on the left is a little older, a little more kind of stern-faced, has this kind of jagged scar coming down across one eye, but the eye is still in place. The other is more bright-faced, as far as drow can be. Not a happy, cheery individual, but much younger, clearly by his appearance.
Okay. Well, you look like fresh meat.
You're no response.
Well, I guess if there's ever been a drow that's actually ever been personable, who was that one? What was his name?
Yeah, I don't remember.
What was that? The man who employed us.
You guys don't know his name.
He didn't tell us.
You don't know his name at all.
Right.
I was like, is that my notes?
I'm speaking loudly.
Shut up! The older one yells and kind of elbows the bars where your face is. You don't get injured or anything, but it's like right in your face, kind of starts your eyes
like
back.
Right there.
Yeah, no, they're right there on either side of a doorway.
I don't think you're even drow enough, or man enough. Whatever. Whatever would insult you and your masculinity.
You insulted.
I don't think that you're man enough to come in here and take me on.
Insulted.
Are you going to compel them to take you on?
Well, the one on the left. The younger one.
The older one's on the left, but the younger one is what you're aiming for, and so yeah, the one that has not spoken in any regard. Are you going to actually do the compel, or are you just trying to convince him?
Oh, I'm going to compel him to duel.
It's like reading through holy water.
No.
And for that, I want to just
I literally yell at him something insulting, and then he does.
So compelled duel is you attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from you. If it succeeds on its saving throw, the spell doesn't restrict the target's movement for that turn. Spell ends if you attack any other creature. Cast a spell that targets a hostile creature other than the target. If a creature friendly to you damages the target, or casts a harmful spell on it. That actually could be a very helpful thing for you guys to be aware of there.
Not really. I just need him in the room.
True, yeah, true.
Like whoever has the keys, get in here.
Yeah, so you kind of, you don't see it, but you get this sense that you've been heard. You've definitely been heard. I didn't even fudge that as a 6. I wanted this to happen regardless, and I actually rolled a 6. You get this. You feel a tension in the air. It's still silent. There's no noise that comes from this. You can almost feel a tension between the two of them, and it kind of grows. You can tell there's one of those kind of like eye battles of like, well, I'm taking this. I'm doing it. I have to do this, and kind of a just don't kill him.
Yeah.
And then you hear the rustle of keys being thrown, and the door opens.
My father smelled of elderberries.
The door's open?
Yep.
I conjure animals.
Okay, so
Someone get the yakety sax ready.
perfect. So the door opens. The younger drow steps in. The keys are stuck into the door, just kind of hanging there. He steps in and kind of like, cracks his knuckles kind of thing. Like, all right, dragon, let's go. And you then conjure animals behind this scenario. Where specifically are you conjuring them to?
Surprise round.
And yeah, we'll consider this, so sort of. So like you get surprised. The young drow is going to come up and punch you, or swing at you to try to punch you, and then we'll be in full initiative as standard. Halfgrin is skipped on this one, on the 2 things that happen right immediately.
So for me, I would like to summon 8 swarms of rats.
8 swarms. Jesus.
I can get 8 beasts of challenge rating. 1
and a swarm of rats is
yes. And I want them to swarm the other one. That's
the older one.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy moly. You guys might just straight up get out of this. So I'm trying to find that conjure animals thing. Is it under spells?
It's a 3rd level.
Yeah,
spell.
yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure, so that I know what he's got to do against everything and whatnot. So it's concentration up to an hour. So remember, anytime you get hit, you do have to make a concentration saves if you even get hit in this situation.
I'm going to
There are 8 swarms of rats.
Right. So
in this dungeon out of nowhere.
They are fey
they're
rats.
friendly to you, and Halfgrin. They are not friendly to any of the others. You will roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, and the group has its own turn based on the rules that exist under Conjure Animals. And apparently, the GM has the creature statistics.
Yeah, I don't have them. I hope you do.
Which I do have access to them, so I'll get them pulled up here in a moment. But
rat swarm?
yeah,
Yep,
that's
8 of them.
That's intense.
8
Wow,
rat swarm.
They can't be too
8
different from
rat
a spider
swarms. That's
swarm.
intense.
Well, I think that was like a made-up swarm.
Yeah, that was
Actual
just a
individual
thing. Yeah,
Large spiders. This is rat swarm, which is its own monster.
yeah.
I got a lot of fun options in this
You do.
spell.
I just pictured Dishonor.
Summoned,
with
maybe?
rat swarms. Just summon rat swarm.
Is that a book of monsters over there or something?
I got it somewhere, but I want it on my screen. Book of Monsters. I like the Okay, so their AC's 10. They have 24 hit points.
Because it's a swarm.
Yeah, and then but their AC's 10 because they're so small, sprinting about all over the place. And I'll have to actually do a typey thing to really get their full stats up.
Resistant to.
Say cheese and die.
Resistant to piercing damage.
Right. Okay, they.
Not effective.
So when you bring them out, if you go to D&D Beyond and type in "swarm of rats," that'll be the correct one if you want to know what your numbers are for your rolls and stuff. You have a basically melee weapon attack, which is a +2 to hit, a reach of 0 feet. So they go onto the thing, so they enter the space. And then on a hit, it's 2d6 piercing damage, or
2d6.
Yeah.
Dang.
He's got 8 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you need more D6s?
16
Yeah.
d6 in a round.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay.
But they all
You thought I was ridiculous.
Wow.
they all work as a group. Like even
So
all eight I think work as a group.
Yeah.
8. So yeah.
I don't know. We can make it work.
You can't like StarCraft to them and just like
No, I want to do this. Each one of your 8
just like micro them.
is a swarm of rats. So each one of your 8s is the equivalent of 8 individual things. So yes, it is
64 rats just running around.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
it is.
64 rats, and they have 2d6 per the 8. So it is actually 16d6 that you will roll on a hit against this one individual. So roll your attack for them now as they swarm up to the older
I want them to
drow
like
here.
burrow up out of the ground.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. They start to just all of a sudden all of you see
They're fey though. So
yeah. So you see this group of this massive group of rats just form out of the ground. They have these weird like sparkly eyes and shadowed fur. They are this kind of weird, twisted, like high-spined, long-legged shape, almost kind of dog-like with longer snouts, but they do still have the kind of general rat appearance. And suddenly their black eyes just all focus on this one older drow, and they begin to advance quickly upon him. What'd you roll?
on him all.
Yep.
all he's just more rat than drow
Yep.
at this point.
And you do have to roll an attack on
Right.
him. So I will say just roll once with advantage because we know what's going to happen here.
and it's just
Yeah, it's like the
+2
like
to
that
hit.
scene in what Jurassic Park 3?
Uh,
Was it 3?
wait, with the
All
little compies?
Yeah, the comp. Oh, not 20.
That's another 20. Holy moly!
Oh.
And now I would like for you to roll 16d6.
Well, here's
Alright,
3.
We're gonna have
Well,
to
hold
just
on.
find
Yeah.
I'm just pulling up Roll20 so I can just
Oh, so he's just.
So you can just do
I
it all
see,
at once?
digitally roll.
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right.
because I will lose track of every
That's
single
true. That's
number
a,
involved in
that's
that.
a lot of numbers.
Okay, so how many was it? It was
16d6
16d6.
against
I'm launching
one
this just to watch this. Crazy.
prison guard drow.
And
It's a
there's
good way of
no
doing it.
pluses, right?
I don't believe
No.
so. Just
think
straight
so.
up 2d6.
It's a lot of maths.
Oh,
Oh, look at them all roll.
I was say, watch you
Wow.
roll all ones, and he's still standing.
64.
64.
64, yeah.
Times 2.
Is that 16d6? Huh?
That's an average.
Only
of 4.
1 1.
this seems broken.
That's an average of 4, which is about right.
It's actually a little bit lower
Yeah, like
than what
4
the average is.
6s and-
The
yeah.
air
So,
quotes average is 7.
What happens to this drow?
So
Also,
he's
I want a
Not a
couple
pair
of them
of
to
dice.
actually like get the keys in the door.
okay. Yeah, you rolled a nat 20. Yeah. So
I mean, he's super dead. So.
yeah. So here's what happens. The rat swarm climbs up his feet so rapidly that he doesn't even have time to really react. He's like, ah, what the? And he grabs for his sword, and the rats all at once just start to chew through his body into his mouth, one of them crawling down his throat, so the only sound is... And
Like the Beatles in the Mummy.
you see this swarm just kind of fall down to the ground, and there's just a pile of rats just writhing on top of each other. And then in unison, they all turn and run towards the other door, starting to climb it, trying to grasp at the keys that are stuck into the lock here. And what you see remaining is simply clothing and items of possessions.
They didn't touch it.
That's all that's
Wasteful.
tattered, just destroyed clothing. They've chewed
napkin.
through it, but their focus was on the flesh.
Willard.
So they have consumed flesh and
Willard
bone
over
from
here.
this drow, with
Everything went better than expected.
like literally 10 times, more than 10 times the amount of damage needed to actually kill him. Jesus
It's
Christ.
fine.
But
It was good.
that was intense. That was a good play.
So what happens with this duel here?
So,
Yeah.
Jesus.
At the same moment,
Yes,
the rats
at the same
go.
moment as this happens, the drow steps in and swings with a punch at you, Caleb Stretz, and distracted by this sound of gargling behind him, he kind of glances back mid-swing and just
Whiffs.
and then turns back to you and turns back to the door and then reaches for his sword and draws his sword out. Oh, it's you.
I challenge you to a fight, not a duel.
Is that relevant in the
he
spell?
has to be
No.
unarmed,
Okay.
right?
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, so he's ready to fight you, and now everybody that's here, you two,
Initiative.
and then your rats as well,
All the
we'll
rats
all roll
roll for
initiative,
initiative.
and then I've got Halfgren
I
and
rolled
the
a 19.
drow. Beautiful. Oh, my pen's gone. I have to do this on the computer. Ugh.
I don't even know how to do initiative for them.
Okay.
Stab him.
So,
Smite.
Anybody over 20 on initiative? Okay. 15 to 20?
19.
My rats.
What were your rats at?
16.
Okay. So
I don't know what
kale,
plus they would get.
rats, and
Dex? No,
then 10 to 15.
I'm a 6.
You're a 6. Oh, you're actually last. Okay.
That's fine.
So the doors
But
open.
he's
said
not
that.
going to be alive by the time it gets around to you. This will be over before it comes to you.
Brent's just a little exhausted from calling all his rat
The door's
friends.
open. Can I use magic now? Or do I have to be outside of the thing?
Make an Arcana check
Was it only theirs that was
just to
magic?
do it.
Yeah, they didn't do it for yours.
Yeah. I mean, you conjured a swarm of rats, so obviously, right?
Okay. I expect you to be like, no, you can't do that.
15.
No, yeah, 15. You get this, you kind of try to harness your abilities, and you get this sense that there is some kind of limitation within the cell.
Okay.
Clearly, they messed up and not thinking I was a threat.
Yup! Kind of a lot. And then, yeah, well, I don't even know why I'm doing
Further
anything.
components to control the people outside. This is a really poorly designed.
Yeah, so you kind of, as you did
Jail.
that, you were kind of, your words left the cell and were able to
When they had
come
magic.
into him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sound of your voice carried the magic with it.
Kind of magical voice.
And
Also, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's a surprisingly poorly designed cell for a space like
They
this.
probably don't get a lot of visitors.
No, not usually. And the ones that they've had, it's been enough to kind of feel that suppression on themselves for them not to ever have done what you've done now.
They give them all
I imagine
3-day
there will be a
passes
redesign
and
after
that's
this.
about it, yeah.
Or they'll just kill every magic user that comes in on site now. First up here, we
They're
have
not gonna be
Caleb
very powerful
Strats.
without magic.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So,
Ooh, cool kingdom, guys.
yeah. So you have a
Wish.
young drow prison guard standing in front of you, just took a swing at you, missed, drew his sword, and is advancing towards you. And it is now
Alright.
your turn.
So I do believe that drawing a dagger is
No,
a
it's
free
a
action.
free action. Yep.
Right. So I just draw my dagger that I've expertly hit.
Draw my dagger and cough onto it.
And yeah, I'm gonna just
A little
swing at him.
stab.
Roll to hit.
we've got 19.
Yeah. I don't even have to pull the stats to know that hits.
Yep. We roll a d4. Oh, but it's... Oh wait, no, that's only on big weapons. I can't. Okay. And I'm going to smite.
Can you smite?
Yeah.
It's not. It's not a magical ability of any kind.
I don't think. You use a spell slot,
Is it your
but
feet?
it's like a class feature.
I would say, okay, you.
It's up to you.
You attempt to do so. However, you feel as if the darkness and the depth of this place in itself somewhat limits that, and then being yet farther down underground and then in this kind of containment area, it kind of nulls it out.
Then I do 4 damage.
Okay, wonderful. He's still standing. Woo!
All right,
Are you gonna do anything else? Because now it's the rat's turn. The rats are now kind of clambering up and like swing. You see a couple of them swinging back and forth on the keys. They're not going to be able to get them out. They're not smart enough for that, but they are just kind of. They know what they were told to do, and they're attempting to do it. So they're just kind of milling about this area, stacked up, almost like building their own little rat pyramid, so that some of them can get higher up. Fairly smart for what they are, but not smart enough to get them out. So what will you have them do?
It just feels so OP to have them.
It's super OP.
Attack the
Do it.
drow. Yeah, that's just
Not our problem.
right.
Okay.
But you compelled the duel. You wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And
So
then Bryn's like, should I step
the
in?
whole
Should
point
I
of
just like
that-
stay in here
The
and be
point
like,
of that was
just like
to get
whatever,
the
they got this.
keys.
Yeah. So if you're going to do so, roll to
let's
hit
just,
on him. Yeah.
see what happens?
He's gonna be so
That's
dexterous.
a 16.
16.
Plus
I don't
2.
actually. What is his AC for real? I know 18, 19, whatever that was, would have definitely hit regardless because it always hits pretty much. What did you say you rolled?
18 total.
Yep. That does hit.
Here we're gonna do it. Well, 16
So you gotta do 16d6 again.
Yep.
Can you just re-roll?
Yep. So just re-roll that.
Let the dice
16.
fly.
Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure
That is
it's
59.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's obviously not necessarily supposed to be this way as far as the rules go, but I freaking love this.
Yeah.
So this is the
you're supposed to
coolest,
make,
like most
individual rolls for every
intense.
attack.
Yeah, like this is like the coolest, most
But we're just
intense
gonna
situation ever. I love it.
Death ball this.
Hell yeah.
That's what's happening.
Because I
These are
don't picture
magic
rats just
fey
taking
rat
turns.
swarms, and there's 8 swarms of them. And rats are like small cats, like a real rat.
Yeah.
They're massive. So yeah, no, this is a
Fantasy rats.
horrifying scenario.
Well,
Fantasy
for
rat,
drow.
but,
Yeah,
I'm a
so
little scared of myself.
you should be. You feel mildly uncomfortable with this, but
God, this place just
Doesn't really
changes
jive.
you.
Right.
Man.
Doesn't
roll
really
a
jive.
Constitution check.
We did
for me.
one night of hard time, and now all of a sudden it's just a
Bryn's
murderer.
gonna come out with a tattoo, teardrop under his eye.
He rolls in
roll.
that one.
You roll a 1.
Oh.
You see all of this carnage happening around you as this second drow is now devoured without a chance to even attempt to flee, and you throw up in your cell.
All over the manacles.
And,
Sounds about right.
yeah, so you throw up in the cell on top of the manacles, even further deciding you have no interest in retaining these, and you are now at the doorway, kind of little pale-faced, and ready to leave. And we are out of combat.
As it were.
Halfgren steps forward.
Grab the key.
That was a nice one, Bryn.
I'm gonna grab the key and unlock the door. For
Learn for the best.
Let's get out of here now. I have to be quiet. Careful. Do you remember the way it brought you in? He looks at both of you.
Vaguely. I wasn't exactly in control of
I know
myself.
the feeling. Bryn, do you know the way
I'd say
out?
I probably know somewhat.
Okay, let's get our things first. And he steps out. You're in a space. Again, this is a small 6 cells and then the one primary cell at the back with another door here. You step through that door and you're in a a room of sorts that is just a small 10 by 10 space, has a table, 2 chairs, a small hearth. There's no one else in here, but all of your items that you had on you when you were taken into the cell are there. So you guys can
Like a
be,
little locker or something.
yeah, you can return to fully equipped, obviously minus your greatsword that was taken by your murderous companion. And
Is there anything else in there?
yeah. So make an investigation check.
Investigation. Perfect. 15.
There are 2 plates that are well made, some kind of like dark silvery situation, along with matching goblets, 2 of them. There's a little bit of like breadcrumbs left on one. The other looks almost like it was licked clean.
I'm taking that.
There's a
Put one over one of your rat's heads and hope no one will see us when we steal the cheese.
there's also a small deck of playing cards. A
I'm
set
taking the
of
playing cards.
I figured. Make sure you put them in your inventory.
Yeah.
A set of like a dice set and a small.
Can we play D&D within D&D with that dice set?
You probably might
D&D
be able to.
Deception.
I don't know. If you would like to take your time
I'm
to.
taking the cards in the dice set.
Yeah. So there's cards, dice set, and then there's
means of recreation.
there are 5 silver pieces as well.
Okay,
Looks
I'll
like
take those
winnings of some sorts. Like there was some kind of gambling between the 2 of them going on here, or the 2 that were previously or such. And there's a broom as well.
I'll just
that's
take the 5 silver, the playing cards, and the
Dice set.
dice set, and the rest of my stuff.
Perfect. Sounds good. So at this point, as you guys ready yourselves to make your escape through a fairly straightforward path as far as you're aware, Maze, you awaken from a surprisingly restful sleep after how it started, and you kind of arise knowing that it's some form of morning just by you hear a bit of not a bustle of happiness, but a bustle of movement about the space around you, the city itself, kind of coming to life as it would in a morning somewhere else. You, as stated before, have 2 days left on your pass into the city, and your stay at the inn was only covered for 1 evening by your 10 gold you paid for it previously. So, and for anyone guessing, yes, she got ripped off. Yeah, so you are now able to make your way towards the cell or attempt to escape the city just on your own by leaving through the gates. You could also hang out waiting at the inn, just gather around with the people that are there. There are a couple of other individuals there. You do see, as you kind of come down, you do see the same kind of haughty looking drow that's just nose upturned looking at you, kind of like, better not have messed up that room kind of look. And yeah, exactly. Knocking
My
anything
pale
over.
skin.
And which, yeah, you do have your hood down currently from when you entered in. You do actually see one other tiefling in the space. Very dark red male, large horns, very shifty, quick eyes, looking everywhere all at once, it seems. You see a multitude of daggers around. You see 2 large ones at his hips, one kind of slung across his lower abdomen, and then 2 separate bandoliers, basically, of throwing knives. And you assume there's probably other methods of death that this guy carries.
Just overcompensating
And
for his horn size.
it possibly, yeah. He's sitting there, kind of slowly sipping something out of some goblet. off in kind of one of the corners, his back very much up against the wall, just glancing, watching the other patrons, which are all drow. Kind of a similar situation of like, I've got only a limited amount of time here, kind of thing. And the day is yours.
Just so everyone knows, because this is Maze's mind, she just heard a spider make like the rooster call. So that's what woke her up, was a spider just like skittering up somewhere, raising its little things and just doing a rooster. Like you hear the sound of a rooster.
But from a spider.
So, from a spider mouth, little spider mouth, yeah. So she wakes up.
Not
She's
modulated any
I need someone to Foley this.
so before, like, as I leave and, step out, get some tea, Maze finds somewhere, like, quiet, out of sight, and just, like, has the sword with her and looks at it.
Okay.
Okay, sword. Clearly you're magical to Kale. What do I do? And she just listens to see if the sword says anything. She has no idea.
Oh, honey. I'm magical. The sword's boring. I know.
So yeah, this sword is.
She just listens for a little bit.
This specific sword.
It's literally standard issue.
Yeah.
I know.
So
but she doesn't know that. It's just shiny.
Right. Do religion.
Just roll
check.
a
Yeah.
20,
Roll religion, basically. Yeah.
15 in my religion probably is not that. Oh yeah, it's a -1. 14.
So.
Not that religious for a
It's got
cleric.
a -1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Specific types of clerics do.
She's a heretic.
She's a cleric.
She's a witch.
But more so, actually. Yeah.
Turn me into a newt.
But you kind of ponder over the sword,
Stare at it.
focusing at it. You look into it. You kind of try moving it, and you suddenly see a face in the reflection off the blade.
It's working.
It's yours.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Okay,
And,
me. What will I do? You go save him. Okay, I'll do that. So I pack the sword away after the pep talk.
Okay. Well, in essence, what this was the whole like standing in front of a mirror of like, okay, you've got this. Positive self-affirmations.
We can do this. Can we do
The
this?
moment she gets like to the gate,
Yes,
there's
we can
gonna
do
be this
this.
tide of rats coming out. We're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be like riding a rat.
But it's okay. She doesn't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I just, 2 days, and then I just got to walk towards there. I gotta figure this out.
Walk to the prison.
Okay.
Walk to the prison.
So, as you approach, there you know that the space where the prison is, is part of the kind of palace structure in essence. It's just my personal thought process is maybe that's a bad idea. But are you approaching stealthily in any way, trying to go a roundabout way, or are you just doing the walk up to the gates and kick them open scenario that you attempted previously without success?
I'm just, how would Maze do this?
Specifically, that's always a good question.
Like, how
Yep.
would Maze do this? She's going reckless. So she's just going to go up to it again and like, hey, I want to see my property.
Okay. No, is the response you get. Again, this is not the same, conveniently for you in some way, not the same guard you'd encountered previously, but a somewhat more curious one.
Curious one? Oh, sweet. So I have a question. Maze has a question.
So did you lead with what you said previously?
No, I did not. But no, she didn't come in like, hey, I want to see my property. No, she's not doing that. I want to speak to your manager.
Okay.
That's just
Perfect. That was your internal monologue of how you would approach mentally.
That was my pep talk.
Yeah, I rolled a nat 1 on whether or not I'd take that, and so yeah,
Gotcha.
that works.
Excuse me, guard. I'm only here for a few more days, and I've had a slave taken away from me. I didn't realize humans were not allowed here. What is the chances of me getting that back, or at least some sort of compensation?
Roll a persuasion check on that.
Okay. I swear this thing's stuck on 12. Plus 6. So 18.
Damn.
I'm very persuasive.
Extremely charismatic.
You got to with
Wow.
a face like this.
Yeah, the face of a white devil,
yes,
basically.
completely
Yeah.
white devil face, yes.
He looks over you curiously. Well, it's not customary, but one moment. He
Certainly.
turns and walks through the gate, just and
He just
then-
takes a finger and pokes it. Like, phase through it like he did?
Yeah, he just phases through
Do
it.
I just solid?
It's solid stone. Kind of hurts a little bit for some reason, almost like you were bit when you touched it, like a little sharp. Bing!
Well, zap.
Yeah.
Phase gate.
And you kind of wait, looking around. There are other guards like standing there. One you see kind of eye you out of the corner of its eye and then look back like, what is this nonsense kind of appearance to them. And after about 5 to 10 minutes or so, the same one you spoke with appears back through the gate in a spot different from where you were standing, which was right where he went through previously. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
But and he raises a hand and the gate opens silently again as it did previously. Follow me.
Certainly.
And you guys begin to walk through. This time, what are you two doing?
Well, we've got all of our stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going towards the
Got lots
exit.
of rats.
Okay. So,
Crew of rats.
I feel like it'd be
Rat gang.
How long are those
wiser
active?
to not have them.
I don't understand what that means.
Can't you just take the guard's clothes, have them stuff inside of it, and move as if they were the guard? This is
'Cause they
Maze,
can-
so Maze would totally do
Right,
Because
that.
they can scout.
Yeah. We can.
You know, they can tank. They can
So you just want to
do the damage.
fight your way out of this.
the swarm has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell.
I'll keep them around to scout at least until we're out. I don't want to fight this whole drow city.
Roll a
Too late.
d20. Just that. and then
You
I'll-
didn't see how big this place was and how long it took to get here.
No, I didn't.
That's true, you did not.
I
That's
have
a
no
14.
concept of that.
Okay, that's for your rats. Their stealth in this matter.
Oh.
What can
And
Halfgren do?
we'll
Halfgren, do you have a portal? We just leave.
actually, I want to see what I built him with. You don't get a response immediately. Halfgren's kind of focused on just gathering all of his stuff and restructuring, and he kind of then walks back to look at the things the guards had on them to see if there was something else of his maybe that they had taken and kept with them. So he's kind of off a ways when you say this.
Are there other prisoners here or is it just us?
Make a perception check.
Come on. 21.
21. As you guys kind of open the door that escapes from the prison, you hear this kind of like little scuttling in the cell to the left, closest to the door that leads to the antechamber, basically. And you look kind of around the corner, and you see very low to the ground two large yellow eyes. Do you address it or anything?
That's all I see is
Just
yellow
two
eyes.
yellow eyes kind of back in one corner, like kind of trying to hide behind itself, whatever it is. But its eyes like looking out, and they look scared. Whatever these eyes.
You're like, hey, why are you here? Who are you?
Coral.
I grabbed the keys and opened the door.
What are you doing?
Giving you your choice.
kind of stays back against the far back wall and comes on the right side of, its right side of the gate. And as it kind of steps in this light space, which is a little bit brighter now because of you having the door open and the fire in the other room, you see a small, extremely dirty, kind of tan-skinned goblin. Very tiny. Massive eyes, large face, crooked nose, big old ears kind of flopped down, just tattered clothes. You're not with them. You drunken. You. The rats! And it kind of climbs the bars a little bit.
Look, it's your choice, freedom or fright, but we're leaving.
Okay.
Do you happen to know the best way out of here?
It does that, like literally that. Like that's its actual response. It looks around like it doesn't know where it is. And I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been here so long. Dark place. It kind of foams a little bit at the mouth.
I'm sure we have to go.
And
What was your name?
Coral.
Coral, you can come with us, or you can stay here. It's no difference to us. We're going.
And it runs towards you and climbs up your leg and grabs onto your shoulder.
All right,
You got a buddy now.
let's go.
Okay. And
Coral.
then a coral with a K. And
He's is dead, Coral.
I feel like
That's all I just think of.
doing that voice because we just found a new mascot.
I do actually kind of like that voice. But as far as Halfgren's ability to bamf out of here or anything, he walks up, kind of doing one of those like, oh yeah, that's right, I did hear someone say something to me kind of responses. No. We're going to have to fight our way out to sneak out of here. Those are our only options, I think. I can do a lot, but without any nature around me, I can't do that. And you are familiar with the transportation between trees, similar to what Morelia did with you guys to get to Halfgren's. And you're aware that Halfgren has done so on rare occasions before, but there are no trees in this exact space that you would be able to interact with. Yeah.
Trees don't grow there.
There is actually a jungle outside the city.
Yeah.
On one
We can
side,
get outside the city.
technically. Maybe. I don't know. Those trees are pretty
is all you
messed
need.
up and very corrupt, but
wouldn't
they are there.
I vote the sneaking option.
Okay, so if you guys roll stealth checks.
Oh, yeah, I can't bamf like that.
Well, see,
17.
Stealthy for a big guy.
So this is where
Just let on my feet.
I will actually get rid of the rats.
Okay.
Poof.
They can be distractions.
I got another slot.
Coral kind of gets a little more comfortable, maybe.
Okay, good. And then I would like to cast Pass Without Trace.
Ah, okay. Perfect. That's plus
Because I remembered
10.
I have it.
Wait, you had that the whole time?
Yes.
God.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's a plus 10
Plus 10.
to everything?
For
Okay.
For everybody?
For me and my companions within 30 feet of me.
Okay, so that means Halfgren's at a
Stay
26. What's your stealth
It was at
now?
17.
27.
Yeah.
17?
17 with the plus 10?
Yeah.
Okay, and then yours was 27? Or
Total, yeah.
okay. And then
The rogue's using his cloaking ability. It's a cooldown, but it'll get us past the pats and into the next boss chamber is what that'll do.
so now, Bryn, I'd like for you to do a wisdom, I think. Yeah. Wisdom or intelligence, whichever you prefer.
Definitely wisdom. 14.
Okay.
Where'd all these crits go?
Wise, but not smart.
Right. So you quietly walk out of the cell, slowly following the only path that exists in this specific location. So this portion of it's fairly easy. You head upwards, up the stairs. You notice that they do actually go down a little bit lower. But remembering that you were taken down into these cells, you head upwards up this kind of long, winding spiral staircase. You interact nobody on the stairs, and you come to a door. How are you going to pass through the door? Just open it.
Listen, make sure there's nothing
Okay, do a perception check on that.
detect on the other side. 16.
You don't hear anything immediately. Except for an errant rumble
Rumble.
in the distance.
Slowly creak the door open.
It's the sound of
Peer
It is
through.
Conveniently, it is locked. So you go to push it open, and it like starts to move, and then you hear the of it being shut.
Do you know how to do anything with this?
Runs down, grabs the keys off of your side, and then and
Probably different keys.
okay, and then to you with holding one key up.
one.
Grab it and
Okay, as you grab it, you kind of pick Coral up a little bit as well, and Coral lets go, and runs back and climbs back up onto Kale's shoulder, looking over.
Climb.
And as you open the door, you step
Locked, Coral.
you step into a new space, the beginnings of kind of the palace space, surprising the sudden change of dark and bland to decorated and ornate, going from a smooth stone to a smoothed gray rough stone to like a marbled flooring and columns. Look out, it's dark. There are little purple flames down straight ahead of you, down off to the left, off to the right, but they very minimally light the space, leaving the center and the spaces between them all shrouded in darkness. As you begin to step through, you get a sense that something's watching you, but you don't see anything. And that is where we're going to take our break and give away some dice. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes with the conclusion, potentially, of our prison break. And if you would like a chance to win these dice right here, we are going to do a giveaway word of breakout. So go ahead and type breakout in the Twitch chat as one word, so BREAKOUT, breakout. And we will be back here in 10 minutes with the winner of these fiery red dice. And we're back. So if you have not done, super easy to do right now. All you got to do is type breakout in the chat as one word. You could win these ruby red and gold dice. So I'm going to give you a split second to do so. Also, I've been forgetting to mention it when I start the stream, but we're actually trying to raise money for St. Jude all through like this month, and I think it goes into the next month, and we're keeping that up as well. But if you would like to donate any amount to that, it would be extremely helpful to help us reach that goal, which 100% of anything you donate goes directly to St. Jude to help kids with childhood cancer. So it's kind of a really big deal. It's something super important to me personally, at least, because I've always been involved with St. Jude and I really believe in them as an organization. And then everybody else was pretty on board with it when I suggested St. Jude, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, St. Jude is wonderful. So if you guys would like to help out with that, help us hit our goal on there, by all means, just go to !play live in our chat. You'll get the link right there, or you can do playlive.rollthis.com. Again, even just $1 is super helpful. There's a breakdown that exists through the actual St. Jude website that shows how such a small amount can actually really do something. So super cool. But anyways, that should have given everybody time to enter for the dice here. So we're gonna go ahead and roll that. Again, for the 2 seconds you have right now, it's breakout is the one word situation to try to win. And 3, 2, 1, Twitch delay. I'm gonna ignore today. Oh my God, gave you enough time. Roll it. And Scene Shadow is one they gave away. Congratulations, Scene Shadow. That is fantastic. It didn't actually show me that you were even on the eligible users list, so that's cool. Congratulations. I will find some way to get these to you because I know that you're actually local to us, so I might just hand deliver them to you and make life easy on all of us. So yeah. You've been here since nearly the beginning, so appreciate you hanging out here, and congratulations on winning those dice. So, switching back over to everyone here, and getting this to this to this, and Maze, as you follow through the courtyard up to the familiar staircase, past the 2 extra guards at the doors here, and enter into the gotta minimize this so it's not distracting me anymore. So you come into the space, familiar long hallway. You are led back towards the throne room chamber. You enter again through the ornately carved door, pass through a room full of columns and of black marble that are carved into the shapes of a female drow figure. You look up again to the throne that is made of a melted cast type of metal that then has spider legs curling up over the top of it, and you see again the queen which you'd previously interacted with, sitting back casually on her throne, dressed in a somewhat different attire this time. It's more of a armor, it seems like. The crown is still the same, similar to the way the throne kind of comes around as a big spider's legs curling over the top of her head, with a multitude of dark rubies into the eyes that you can only see the slight deep reddish of when she kind of turns against the purple flickering flames within the space. You come up near the base of the steps leading up to the throne. The guard that was leading you in bows and steps off to the side. The shadows behind one of the columns. And she looks at you with an eyebrow raised. So, what other troubles have you caused for us now?
Apparently a lot. I just needed some sleep, and I do apologize for any damages I may have caused.
None were reported.
Huh. I had a lot to drink when I came in, and the inn was very, very nice. I was caught with one of my, I don't know, normally where I'm from, we call them slaves. It was a human that was taken from me. I kind of snuck my pet in. Didn't mean to. It's just like, you travel everywhere with your little companion. And that's what I caused a lot of issues with.
Roll a deception.
Okay. That's an 18. Oh, plus 3.
Okay.
21.
That's what she needed. And she looks at you. Why was this human not with you when you first came in here?
I didn't want him to make a mess on the carpet, so, I mean, you can't really train these things, especially this one.
She's like, "What is carpet?"
Roll a d20.
Roll a d20. A 16.
Seems sensible enough. And she has like this she's very much like, her general appearance is very shadowy and stern. But you see a slight smile kind of momentarily cross her lips as at the mention of soiling the carpets.
Now, if I may ask, Your Highness, the spiders that you have, I mean, I'm all for pets. Do you have to raise them from like a tiny little egg? Because I would love to be able to adopt something like that.
All of the spiders here are my children. They are not for outsiders.
So they're not pets. I apologize. That's why they're treated so well in the city.
Of course. You are very unfamiliar with our ways.
I am not. I'm from the surface. That's why I'm so pale, and sunburns are very bad.
It's the ironic, weird dichotomy of how dark elves are shadows and
Yeah.
surface-dwelling things are lighter skinned. Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird.
we get it. But it was a very strange scenario.
It is,
But
yes.
especially for her, because she is, as described previously, pitch black. Like, not dark-skinned,
Yeah, like
but
just
the
black.
color black. And she is the darkest drow that you've ever encountered. Her eyes are a vibrant, bright red, and her hair is a stark paper white. Long hair as well. But she looks... So what are you wishing to accomplish here?
Well, I'm supposedly only here for 2 more days. I wouldn't mind just taking my property off your hands and leaving your city early, and just hoping to be able to come back without the human to visit again at a later time.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh, that was 11 plus 6, 17.
Frankly, it would probably be best for you and your pets, as you call them, to go home and not return here. It has been brought to my attention that some that live here do not take to your presence.
Oh, I understand.
Corin? She calls over one shoulder. Yes, my lady. This kind of androgynous looking individual steps up and looks to her. Retrieve the human. The younger one. She turns back to you. Here, have a seat. And you turn and look, and there's a chair right by one of the pillars that you did not see there previously. It's off from the space, but
Shadows are amazing with furniture.
and you have a seat to
Yep, I
take,
have a
if you
seat
will.
and I just wait.
Okay. And you two, and Halfgren. So, Bryn, since you are leading this course here, and you were conscious when brought in here. I would say, I want to verify, just make sure I'm right on what the correct thing to do is. Your memory. Would that be under wisdom or intelligence?
Intelligence.
Okay. So make, at this instance, make one intelligence roll with advantage.
Not that one. 8.
Okay, so coming up here, you look all three directions, straight ahead, off to the left, off to the right, and everything just looks the same. Kind of take a moment to like, okay, is it left, right, or right, left? What was the... and then you think, maybe the left way. You guys begin to head left. Halfgren kind of comes up beside you and, are you sure about this, Bryn?
Nope.
Hey, Coral, are we going the right way?
It seems good to me. I just seems good to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been a long time. She kind of spaces off. Glancing back quickly at hearing the voice, you see her just kind of like off into the distance, like remembering some far off thing, and then just smiling big with her teeth all ducking
Well,
out
I
again.
guess onward we go.
Okay. You come to a space where there are 4 intersections.
Okay.
Yeah. So the space where you are could go straight, you could go left, or you could go right. Make another intelligence check, or if you would like to try to do anything as well.
That's an
Attempt.
attempt.
If you did, okay,
Doesn't
well,
matter.
good enough. Good. So
Third of
you
the evening.
you get to this space and you go, this isn't right. There wasn't a 4-way intersection. Damn it. And you turn back. Bren? And he kind of knowingly gets it. And you guys head back, and then the direction that would have been straight out of the jail cells, you take that direction, turning left from where you are and going forward, giving you about a 5-minute delay or so on your time frame, which works out for you. And you come to an intersection that looks familiar. You see kind of it kind of like seems to narrow almost, and then come out between 2 columns into a left and a right. You glance about, and everything still looks very similar. So roll one more intelligence, just straight roll.
That's a 5 plus 1 still.
Okay.
6.
Glance about. And you're like positive, absolutely positive that it's left.
All right.
So
Going
you
left.
come out of this almost hidden hallway into an open space. You look to the left, look to the right, and you're like, yep, left. That's the way. You guys head left. Halfgren kind of,
Well, we turned left first.
you turned left first, and then
Then we
went
turned
down,
around.
and then you turned back, came back, went straight,
Mhm.
and then turned left again. So these are parallel hallways.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I thought you turned down the same hallway.
And
Just like, wait,
no. Came back, went straight, and
Okay.
then turned left again. At a 3-way intersection. So Halfgren kind of senses that you're not entirely
know
sure
where
of your direction,
know
but he
where we
doesn't
are.
he doesn't question it. He continues to give you the lead on this, and
Thanks for the face.
yeah. Fuck. Okay, so you're still stealthing, and everybody was over 20 except for you were at 17?
17, yeah.
Okay. Both of you roll perception checks.
Okay.
That's a nat 1.
10.
Falls in line very well. Okay. So,
Both extremes tonight.
yeah. So, you both feel as if this space is oddly quiet. There's just no sound here. Suddenly, Halfgren, he grabs you and pulls you back to jump into the shadows, and you see this, and you're kind of like, and you jump across the other direction into those shadows, and Coral makes a little noise as you do, and Bryn, you kind of stumble and kind of fall to the ground, your dagger falling out of its sheath and kind of clattering on the ground, and you pick it up and sheath it and jump back into the shadows.
Must have been the wind.
Silent. And then you hear picking up speed. You hear approximately 3 sets of footfalls coming towards your area. And I'll have you guys make... Is Path of the Trace still up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll have you guys make another stealth to actually be hidden in this space.
23.
24.
Perfect. So 3 you see for sure, confirmed now. From the shadows, you hide around the column. Coral climbing down your back and just gone, like holding on to the back of your clothes, kind of swaying back and forth.
Yeah.
And then, hiding her eyes. And then Halfgren just kind of blends into the stone behind you, almost completely disappearing. And then 3 guards kind of rush through the space, go down to the intersection, glance about, and head forward still towards the opposite direction of where you guys chose to head. Then you see a noble-looking figure. Short hair on the sides, long down the center, male drow, tall, very slender, not muscular or built, wearing black robes that have a purple kind of jagged stitching along the back, like an embroidery, all along the back and the base around the edges, kind of just waving his hands through like this in front of himself as he walks, and then turns and goes down the way from where you guys came. Okay. And has vanished from your sight. You're now back alone again. You're going to continue down the path that you think is correct. So you step out, and you have only one option now. You you continue down this path, and it kind of like splits and comes back together, and you come to a spot where you're looking up at this door, large door that is carved with these intricate depictions of spiders with a large female drider, maybe just a drow with a spider behind her. Can't quite tell because the when you look at it, it almost shifts between the two imageries. And make a intelligence check again for me.
18.
And it looks similar to what you remember from the entrance door.
Yeah.
But you're still not quite certain on it. And are you gonna try to open it? Okay.
Don't see any reason not to.
As you push on it and open the door, you are brought into a space that you've never seen before. Are you following in? Just naturally, would you have been? Okay.
Yeah.
You recognize it. Looking up ahead of you and off to the right, you see Maze sitting in a very comfortable chair to the side of a massive cast throne with a female drow crowned, sitting upon it, raising her head up from a discussion with Maze, looking at the doorway, looking back at you. Well, did not expect he would have brought all of you up here. What? Where is
Maze turn.
So
Yeah.
stupid right now.
Maze looks over, it's just like,
So she noticed us.
Yeah.
humans.
You walked in the central door
Right,
in
yeah.
front of her throne. Halfgren, eyes kind of go wide. You see almost this like flash of green in his eyes, and he furrows his brow, and you see a little twitch the side of his nose, which you are very familiar with being kind of his like, I want to do something, but I'm trying not to do something kind of scenario, which you were also feeling in this moment. And you, leading into this, you're kind of like, oh, whoops, kind of thing. And yeah, and she kind of motions to you, well,
30 feet of me?
Let us out in good behavior.
step in fully. Do you listen? Do you obey the command?
Maze has a Brent, do as you're told.
Yeah. I'll step forward.
Okay. And do you follow, Gale?
Where's Coral?
Right in shoulder.
She's hanging from your back still. She's not like looking, but she's like hanging.
I like tuck her into my shirt.
Like hiding her even more so? Okay,
Smuggling
perfect.
a goblin.
Perfect. So,
Secret weapon.
yeah. And,
Distraction
The
goblin.
DM will remember
So do you have
this.
like a cloak?
oh, I will. And,
I wear a tabard.
Yeah, he wears like a
Wear a
tabard.
tabard.
Yeah.
yep.
Just a very
Just like-
lumpy
Just
tabard.
enough.
Just
Like you could kind of like hook in the
like
back,
an itch in
and you've
my
got
back,
this
but
like,
really, I'm just like.
yeah, you've got
Get
this
in there.
like fanny pack
Get in there.
situation going on now. Your belt kind of
Yeah.
holding it, and then through the back, she's kind of just,
Could be a scale.
Yeah.
and she like gets it immediately, and you just hear this like,
Yeah.
she's like holding her breath.
Yeah.
It's absolutely adorable.
And you guys step up towards the throne. She looks to you, Maze. So it seems that your human fetched himself, along with some other prisoners of mine.
Yeah, he's not trained. I don't know who. Do I see Halfgren?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're
who that
like,
old
it's like
guy is.
one side of Bryn is Halfgren, the other side is Kale. So you guys are like in a triangle shape almost, with Bryn in the front.
These two I know. I don't know the old one.
Probably best for you.
Oh, that's
From what
Halfgren.
I've heard.
Yeah, because you explained it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he survived.
Yeah. And you see
You're surprised.
your sword over
I'm
with your
kinda,
sheath
yeah, it's
and
like
everything.
behind, yeah.
Kind of, you see the top of it sticking up over Maze's shoulder, and the back end kind of out behind the chair because of the size comparison to her. And the queen addresses you again. So, we have not gotten to speak yet, little dragon. What are you doing in this part of the world?
Boy, let me tell you, I'm not entirely sure. So first off, I get sent here, sent to this town as part of a commission, but... Why are you looking at me like that?
But what?
Well, then there was some talk about the shadows, and I had to report back.
There's nothing.
Yeah. I do know that she's got my sword. I'd like it back.
Your sword?
Yep, mine.
From what I hear, it was earned. You were bested in battle of some kind?
Not exactly.
And the motion I made of her raising her hands does actually kind of happen and then drop. Curious about this situation between the two of you now.
Yeah, not exactly, unless, stabbing someone in the heart when they're paralyzed counts.
It does. Yeah.
I employ some that would think so. However, I see your point. I think you two will stay. She looks to you and Halfgren. You have been amusing. You can take this one and leave through the main gate. Go now. And then she does. And you see from behind each of the pillars, silently stepping around, is a heavily armored, in each pillar. So there's 6 total, heavily armored
How far is the
soldiers.
queen?
She is
She's like,
6. The base of the throne is 6 feet above you. So within 10 feet of physically her. Like her heart is within 10 feet of you, basically. And along with this row of Queen's Guard, basically, that step around, none of which drawing weapons, just waiting, hand on hilt, all of which having 2 swords at their sides, mimicking everybody looks identical in this space, all of those soldiers. But along with this, stepping out from behind the throne is the same individual that you'd previously encountered, wearing again the close to face, open mouth, black dragon mask. Steps forward. You see his eyes. Kind of looks to you, Kale, and you don't see it because the mask covers this, but you feel as if there's some kind of sarcastic smile going on. Kind of just, you feel this welling up of like, this guy kind of thing. And in that moment, he kind of laughs. Again, with you. And the Queen's eye kind of glances over and glances back. Take him. And then he starts to step forward.
Okay. Always with me. And I cast Misty Step.
I was about to say, did she ask us or me to leave?
She told you to take him and go.
Because the plan, so,
And
like,
then,
while this was happening,
take him and go. Clapped hands, soldiers appeared. Guy steps out from behind the throne.
Because ideally, Maze was going to try to walk by and then kind of trip as she walked by, and the sword just happens to fall from my back near his feet. It was like, oh god, I'm so clumsy. I don't know how I'd roll for that.
Just roll a d20.
Okay. Like, I want it to be like, I rolled a 10.
You do stand up, kind of in unison with when the guy appears.
That guy.
And which I believe Zakai is his name.
Yeah,
that's what he was named to
Zakai
you.
was
You're
the
aware
one-
of. You both
I know
actually
his
would
name.
be.
Yeah.
His name is Zakai.
I know his face.
And you both stand up, kind of almost in unison. It seems like.
Okay.
And it kind of surprises you, like, were you there the whole time? And then you start to step forward, actually in the same motion as when he steps forward.
Oh, okay.
So you're not down yet. Your action will happen first.
Gotcha. So his would happen.
So how are you utilizing Misty Step?
Teleporting to a location within 30 feet that I can see.
Which one?
I'm next to the queen.
Uh-huh. Okay. Describe it further for me.
All right, so
So we're doing this thing.
It can happen.
so I don't see myself getting out of this. I never saw it myself really getting out of this. All I saw was an opportunity to fight the darkness. And this lady is quite powerful and in league with probably some less than savory characters. And so I kind of knew what I needed to try.
Okay, specifically what action will you take when you Misty Step and you're there? Now what action are you taking against her? Or against Maze, potentially even in this moment? Or against the dragon?
So that's a bonus action.
Yep. So that's why I was saying, because now you have a thing once you've gotten there. You're in a space where you can, in essence, reach all of them. Because they're kind of all like around you. You basically, they stepped forward and started coming down the steps, and they're on like the second or third step. She's in her throne. You went poof, poof. And you're now standing in the center of all three of them.
And so I'm going to cast Command at a second level.
Okay.
And I'm going to give her and the gentleman in the plate armor the command Grovel.
Okay.
Which would knock them prone.
Against a wisdom save of 13, correct?
Yeah, it's not super strong, but it's what I got.
Okay. So. Okay. So. Yeah. Worked out exactly as I'd kind of hoped it would, actually. Actually, no, that was for. Worked out differently. The queen, you see her eyes, which are already kind of this glowing red, kind of intensify. Her brow kind of furrows in anger. You dare. And Zakai kind of like starts to bend over, falls to one knee, and then resists it. Oh, not all day, dragon. And he draws out both of his blades. And you see they kind of have this like nebulous trail of blue and black kind of floating behind him now. And he kind of readies them, looking at you. And it did not work on either one of them.
No.
And now we're all going to be rolling initiative for
That was a bad
this
plan.
battle. At least the two of us. I assume you're going into there.
You guys can just leave.
But yeah, it's entirely up to your situation at this moment. Yeah. So yeah, no, really, that's true. Yeah. It's technically not initiative for you two.
Yeah.
And technically not for Halfgren. And technically not for the guards. But the three
It's a duel, man.
the three of us, I would say, that's a weird term to say, but would be.
The two on the actual dice.
So in this moment, this happens. You see Caleb Stress just, and he kind of like looks to each one of them intensely. You hear her say that her eyes, how dare you, and then her eyes kind of flare up, and you see the actions I described from Zakai as well. And what are each of you going to do? We'll start with Bryn.
Yeah, sorry, Bryn. I didn't know he could teleport like that.
That's not a paladin thing, is it?
It's this paladin thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Misty's
All right.
It's a magic thing,
It's,
and it happens to happen
both
at
of the ancients. So.
Yeah.
Maze is just whispering like,
Run.
I tried to get you guys out. This just kind of got awkward.
You only tried to get him out. You didn't try anything with me.
You can't hear us.
And honestly,
you can't.
So
my character doesn't give a shit about you
yeah.
and what you think.
I know.
Well, in one capacity, you probably care a little bit
Yeah.
about the fact that she's still wearing your sword. But so, what do you do, Bryn?
think Bryn would try and stay and help.
Okay, how so?
Yeah, because he feels like he owes him for helping with the forest situation.
Yeah, because of the manner in which things are happening, you will get to do whatever you want to do right now. So what action would you like to take? Because realistically, this would still kind of be somewhat of like a surprise round scenario of, yeah, get out of here. Obviously, we're stronger than you and you don't want any part of this type of mentality. And they're all expecting that the two of you will just leave.
It's really dumb.
Yeah, while this is going on, Maze is just backing towards the door.
Paladin's gonna Leroy, bro.
Huh?
Paladin's gonna Leroy, bro. That's what it is.
Leroy
In
chickens.
that case,
That's your call.
yeah. He's not in a 5 feet radius of Swords guy, is he?
He would be.
Yeah, they're, yeah,
Would I hit all 3?
Well, I thought he was
beside
on one
you.
side and I was on the other side of the queen.
Like you're standing on her toes and he is within arm's reach of you. So like you're all like right there.
Yeah.
It's a dais for a throne.
Okay.
This would probably be a bad idea in that case.
It is, yeah.
Fine. Actually, but there's other guards. Are any of them within, like, clumped together?
Not yet. So they're all probably 10 feet apart. There's probably about 10 to 15 feet between each pillar, and each one of them stepped from the shadows behind the pillar into in front of the pillar. So if you're looking for something that's going to hit multiple things at once, unless it's super big, you're unlikely to hit multiple things at once.
Okay.
You may hit 2 at once, but probably not more than that, depending on your aim, depending on what it is.
I don't want to hit him.
You can always aim
I would say, yeah.
in a direction to where the edge of a thing can hit. So, like if you're...
Yeah, a 5 foot radius.
Yeah, it's like if you're going for fireball per se, you can always aim, you have the ability to aim your power in a way to where it hits a point and then the expression of it hits an edge.
Okay, so I want to do that against the sword guy, but missing him.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. If it's like Ice Knife and it has a thing that impacts, you lose whatever the impact portion is. It'll be like an automatic dodged it, automatic save basically. But then the effect would hit it.
Gotcha.
So, which thing are you using?
I'm casting. That's my last spell slot.
Really?
Well, it's my last 3rd level,
Okay.
and I was thinking of doing conjure animals. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's cast conjure animals, and this time we're just gonna get 8 wolves.
Okay.
A pack of
Wow.
wolves.
Yeah.
So they just kind of like coalesce and form behind the pillars and step out.
Yeah. So what happens here is you glance
Someone
back with
kinda
your
leaping
comment of
in.
just like run, and like you're just giving yourself to this, and you see this look in Bryn's eyes of
Not
no.
an option.
And he kind of bends his head down and focuses, and then from behind each one of the 6 Queen's Guard steps a different large wolf, timber wolves. They all step forward and cross across the space, meeting in the middle to find a target, being each one of these Queen's Guards, and then 2 more step from behind where the throne is, out of thin air, snarling, venomous spittle dripping from their mouths, eyes fixed on their targets.
I would like to speak to the queen. You still have a chance to let us all go.
Until this moment, you could have left anyways.
You weren't going to let him go. or him. And that wasn't an option.
I admire your courage, but it is foolish.
Agreed.
Deal with them. And Maze, in the last second, anything you want to do.
No, Maze is just kind of in shock because
Deuces.
yeah,
She throws them up.
like didn't know you could do that. There's a bunch of wolves. Didn't know that can happen. I'm on good terms with these people.
Sort of.
Sorta.
Yeah, and you're kind of like in the middle of all
Just in
this
the
too.
middle, yeah.
So like you're kind of beside where Halfgreen is, and he kind of looks at you and takes a half step to keep you kind of in the line of his, like the corner of his eye as you keep trying to step back quietly towards the doors. And the queen kind of looks at you.
I have no part of this. Am I still free to go?
Make a
Don't think she's
persuasion
gonna
roll.
believe you.
Okay.
And it is
Your pet is
an
not wanting to leave
extremely
because-
high DC.
Not one.
I think not.
Top kick.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I see where you stand.
Yeah, right here.
Kill her. And the two guards that are closest to you begin to step forward, ignoring the wolves in their best intentions to do so.
I draw a really big shiny sword
And
and still talk to it. Okay, like you gotta really help me out here. You, if you want to get back to him,
Really?
come on.
and then you hear this sound come from behind you.
Did he just fart?
And and this little
I honestly didn't
goblin
expect her to come with me on the Misty Step.
anything that's on you, you
thought it
can
was-
bring a willing creature, and her will is to stay with you at this point. You hear this noise and this like shifting and jiggling about behind you, and your
Goblin assassinates the queen. The end.
so she
I was holding that for a friend.
jumps out from behind you, holding your dagger that she has pulled out, and goes to make an attack against the queen.
Yes.
100% just. And she's just fit of rage, eyes watering with excitement and anger and passion in this moment. And she comes close to the queen, and as she gets almost to the point of stabbing this knife in, the queen just goes and hits her, and she goes flying off to the side, hitting into the chair that Maze was sitting in, and just hits the ground.
Kill summons
And
goblins now?
the
What?
knife just falls from her hand and
Teleports.
just
Teleport?
Summons goblins.
Summon goblins.
and falls down at the foot of the chair.
Prison's really changed him.
And now is initiative time.
I have no choice. I have to roll for initiative now.
So-
Try not to.
Let's see. Those will be those things. And we have, okay. All right, so is anybody 20 or higher? Oh, that's sad. Yes or no?
Not
Okay.
for me, nope.
15 to 20?
15.
Okay. So,
Oh, and then
oh yeah, your wolves as well. You were 15 KO.
Mm-hmm.
Convenient. And that was I think yeah, whatever. I'm gonna ignore it. I think Zakai had a bonus, but I'm just ignoring it. I'll pull his shit up later and put him where I put him. And was that 10 to 15 that I just said? Or 15 to 10?
I was 11.
Okay, you were 11. Perfect. Which puts you... Okay. And then half grin.
To 6.
And
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Maze.
A 6.
Okay.
The wolves are 9.
Okay, perfect.
Maze was not ready for this.
I had to go to a new page. I'm just gonna move everything down because that bothers me. Yeah. Okay, so
Keys don't work, do things.
2 of the guards step towards Maze. They will actually be passing by the wolves, so you can make an attack Bryn reaction for attack of opportunity for both of these guards. So it'll be 2 rolls, 1 for each wolf here.
Okay. Are they within 5 feet of an alley?
No.
Oh, they're not?
No, it's a big space, and you're in the middle, and they're both kind of on the ends, and they're stepping past them to get to you.
One of those is an 11. That one's an 8.
Okay, so both of the wolves kind of snap at the guards and spin around as they pass, but only one of them catches like part of a cloak that's trailing behind, and they continue to advance, weapons drawn at Maze. And they're both going to strike in unison at you. And what is your...
Oh, me?
Yep.
AC's 12.
Oh, bummer. So they both swing down and connect with their hits from opposite sides, just crisscrossing your body. And they do stats. They're cool.
I'm the biggest threat here.
Yeah, right. More forward. Actually, they technically, I'll skip that for now. But, okay. Oof. Wow, this may go quicker than I expected. That's impossible. Okay, 10 points of damage to you.
Both of them?
Yeah, one total is 10 points of damage. So your total damage from both attacks is 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So one was an 8 and one was a 2, thankfully. Thankfully for you.
Yeah.
But, okay, perfect.
Wait, what? Why did it do that?
The others step towards the throne, and as they will approach it, but only to form kind of a wall around. So you have 4 at the base. Their swords are drawn, all of which carrying 2 swords, and they're all faced towards you. Just you guys up there, they've kind of, which will not benefit them, ignored Halfgren for the moment. Seeing that he had stood in this space, and you've seen him do this before, knowing that he's a little wily, he kind of takes on this appearance of just an old man. I'm not gonna do anything, kind of thing. And he's doing that again, and you notice it. It's almost like a different form, almost like a wild shape of his, where he just becomes unthreatening. And they've just ignored him completely and stepped up, slowly approaching the throne. Kale, it is now your full turn.
Well, you see, I've got a war hammer this time, and so I'm going to strike the queen
Okay.
with the war hammer
Roll your attack.
twice.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Not 20.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay.
And 16.
Was that your total? Your 16?
Right, for the second attack.
The 20 hits,
Right. D10.
which is surprising actually that you did that.
Okay. Is it dice plus everything else?
So it's doubled dice and then everything else.
And then everything else,
Yeah.
right. Okay, and I am going to use 1 spell slot to smite.
Okay, yep, you can.
Oh, I can re-roll that because it's being wielded two-handed.
Yep.
That's D8. Much better. 36 plus 3. 39.
39 points of damage. Okay.
Shall you?
39 points of damage. Okay. Okay, so you step forward, drawing out your warhammer, looking over to the goblin that you're not sure if is just unconscious, knocked silly, or possibly even dead, that you had rapidly befriended in this moment. That, coupled with the desire, the pure, intense desire to destroy evil, you power up your swing and just hit the queen across the face with the warhammer.
Ooh.
It hits in such a way that it almost looks like her head is going to snap around, kind of thing, just so rapidly to the side. And a bit of dark blood falls from her face. Momentarily dazed, her eyes open back up, flare up, and are now centered on you. And okay, so she is going to disappear and then reappear, standing on a space that you didn't realize was a space where someone could stand, based on the structure of this space, but the sculpture of the spider climbing over the throne, she stands upon its back and is going to shoot a spell at you. It's
everyone can
just a
disappear.
matter of like
Surprise.
doing a thing. Yeah.
Everybody's teleporting.
Yeah, what?
Right,
Wow,
yeah.
I can't teleport.
Except
Dang.
And
Maybe
I
I
have
should've
to
got locked up in
actually
prison.
look
I
them
could
up,
learn to
unfortunately. Oh God, that's not helpful. But because I'm taking too much time on this, she's going to actually fire this at the next opportunity that she has. So it will now be Zakai's turn, who's going to step forward with both of his blades and just swing. Dual attack against you, Kale, because you are his mortal enemy in essence. And I've got a 7 and a 17.
One of those hits.
Okay, so he swings one and you dodge under it, but then he rapidly swings the other one back and slashes across your chest. Make a Constitution save for me.
16.
Okay, you feel this weird grasping feeling, almost like mortar solidifying around you where this was taken, and almost it tries to like expand through your body, and you just you flex and it just vanishes out of you. And that was
it poison?
his move. Yes, some form of it. And Bryn, we are now to you.
Now to me. Okay. In that case, I will now cast Moonbeam
Oh shit. Okay.
on the guy with the swords.
The
So
Zakai
in-
up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a way that does not hit
Perfect. Yep.
Kale.
All right. Is that it's a ranged spell attack, right? Or is it just a save?
So a silvery beam, yeah, it's just a save. A silvery beam of pale light shines down, sending on a point.
He doesn't save. It's I rolled a 3. There's no-
Okay.
even with his bonuses, it doesn't save.
So-
So what does that do to him?
It's going to do 2d10 radiant damage.
Perfect. Roll it.
Actually, it'll do 3d10 because I cast it at second level.
Perfect.
Right there.
Right?
Yep.
I have a giant one over here. Oops.
16.
16 points of damage.
Wow. That's a lot.
Radiant, if that does more, if that matters.
Right. Well,
To drow?
Is he a
I
shape
don't think this
changer?
guy's a drow.
Oh.
No.
Wait, the guy he's fighting?
Not a shape changer? It doesn't matter because he already failed the saving throw.
Right, yeah.
No, no.
So.
Okay, drow.
Yeah. So, is that everything for you?
Yeah.
You're unconscious.
Okay. Then I get to play. So, Halfgren is now, and this one, I do know what spells this person can use. Halfgren is going to. Oh, he can do what you did too, can't he? that'd be a little too intense, I think, though. But even for this scenario, but what he's going to do is still going to be pretty sweet. Yeah. So, actually, yeah. Oh, hell yeah! I gotta see the range on this, just on the side. I should have looked at this beforehand. 10 feet. Yeah. Perfect. Because they hadn't actually gotten to the base yet. They were just approaching. So, Halfgren, you look back at him and you see the ring that he wears on his middle finger flash in a brilliantly bright green. And he just kind of swings his hand forward. And in that motion, massive wall of green flames just engulfs the four that had been approaching the throne, doing a significant amount of damage. Which is, yeah.
16d6.
It is.
Is it as powerful as rats?
He is as powerful as rats, right?
As powerful as swarms of rats.
Forms of. Maybe we need it to swarms.
Doing, oh my god. 1, 2,
High math.
7. Okay, prepare your wolves as well. 6, 18,
Ready the wolves for war.
33. Burning all 4 of them to a crisp, instantaneously.
Pretty slick.
Yeah, sure is.
Nice.
Wow, that takes out quite a bit of a threat.
Doesn't it feel
There are now
good to let
two
it out?
Queen's cards left. God, I built him strong. But he is much higher level than
I would hope so.
all but 2 of the people in the room. And yeah, so suddenly you see this kind of grin and a glint in his eyes as he swings his hand forward, and the flames erupt around the base of the throne, engulfing and incinerating the soldiers here. The flames then die down, and what you see remaining are these smoking chunks of jagged, pointed metal, 4 of which surround this space. So 1, 2 on each side. Almost giving it kind of this sickly, intentional architecture type of look to it. It almost matches the melted look of the cast throne. And now it is time for your wolves to play.
I want them to attack the remaining guards.
Perfect. They're right with Maze as well, so you get your pack thing, even if it doesn't already go into effect from them being a pack.
Sure.
And then yeah. So do your attacks on those.
How many attacks? Do you want me to roll all 8 attacks, or is it?
Roll 1 overall.
Great time for you to cast Hold Person on something.
That's a 15.
That will hit exactly.
Okay.
And your damage.
I'm just gonna use their average number here, unless you really want me to.
Yeah, roll.
Huh?
Roll.
Really
Yeah.
roll, man.
Okay. So it's a 2d4 plus 2. Let's see here. So is that 16 d4 then?
Okay.
Oh,
Apparently, yeah, because you have you have 8 of them.
2d4 plus 2, but it's 2d4 plus 2 for each one, so it's really 16d4 plus 16.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
point.
So hit that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
checks the D4.
Oh, yeah. Plus,
Unless the average is over 30, and then we can just
Add
call it good.
43 plus, yeah, so 57.
Yeah. So your wolves, all 8 of them, turn and
Nice.
launch themselves upon the 2 guards that are flanking Maze and rip their throats out and tear their body to shreds, arms coming off, legs separating from their torso. One kind of holding a head in its mouth kind of turns back and looks at the throne space where the rest of you are. And Maze,
Yeah.
what will you be doing?
Well, I'm being attacked, so I'm going to try to use the sword and swing at at least one of them.
So they're dead.
Oh, they are dead
Yeah,
already.
there's
oh.
Zakai and the Queen are all that's left right now.
Oh, the 2 I know. Crap. Let's see. No one else has taken damage, have they? Just me. Went to the wrong thing. Yeah, I'll just heal myself. I mean, there's not much they got this taken care of.
You can do whatever you want.
maybe.
It's your character.
I mean, they don't.
The suicide
I mean, 'cause I'm
has
like-
killed the entirety of the Queen's elite guard.
I mean, because how far I was back by the door, so I don't think I could get towards them.
Queen.
Yeah. I mean, we got half grid.
No.
Honestly, if I wanted to wait and see like what the half green was doing, and I was just gonna have the wolves pick us all up. And get out of
Yeah,
here.
it was like you guys had gotten this around. Actually, out of curiosity, I almost want to go check on the cute little goblin that somehow he summoned. Like, I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
Can Maze get up to the
Summon
goblin? Yeah,
Paladin
summon
spell.
goblin. Yeah.
Second,
I don't know, but figure it out.
second spell. Summon goblin.
Yeah.
Yep. Summon humanoid.
Discord's messing with me. It says I got messages, but there's nothing there.
Play the game.
Just play
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll go up towards the throne as far as I can, because I was back further than them. I didn't realize they were dead already.
Yep. Your movement is
30 feet.
30 feet. You would get right up there to the space, yeah.
Within attacking range?
Yeah. Depending on who you're going for.
The mask guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melee man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'd be on
We
the
gotta fight
left
this.
side, yeah.
Gotta fight again.
So Queen's in the center on the back, and you're left right up against him. And then on the right side, as you approach, would be where Coral is laying.
Are we
All right.
flanking now?
I guess, yeah, I would be flanking him.
Is that a
Wouldn't
thing
I?
that we do?
No?
You're both approached up against him.
All right. So I go up to him, and before I attack him, I'm like, looks like we gotta do this again. I respect you. And then take a swing.
Okay. Roll your attack.
I respect you. Because I rolled a 10? Like, do you add anything to weapons attacks? I don't know. Like, I
It's
don't,
whatever the weapon says. Probably +3
it would be whatever
on that
his
sword.
sword
That
was.
sword's a +3. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you want to see it,
your attack
it's,
is
Your
+3, and then
proficiency
you
bonus.
add.
Yeah, it's whatever your proficiency bonus is, and then it's a 2d6 plus your strength modifier.
Oh, I have a 0 strength.
Well, then you get no bonus.
No, so I rolled a 10 towards attacking
On the
him.
attack? Okay, so this sword is unwieldy in your hands, and you swing again, and he just parries it across away.
What are you doing?
And Maze is just so mad. The stupid sword, and I kind of toss it off to the side near his feet.
And then that brings us back to Kale.
Full action to pick up or bonus action?
No, it's nothing. It's just it's
There, he
free
does a
action.
really
All
cool,
right.
like,
It's
I
just picking
toss it, and
something
he's
up,
just like,
yeah.
boom. And it's like,
Yeah,
ah.
Yeah, you might even catch it in midair,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, like he
Awesome.
just kind of flings it, and
Just
I'm
like,
like, whoop.
Yes, roll for awesome.
Don't even roll, you did it.
And then I make a multi-attack.
Okay.
Another multi-attack against Mr. Masked Man.
Perfect. Go for
I
it.
should probably start learning the names of these people.
Zakai.
Zakai.
Yeah, Zakai, but
He didn't share
I
his
wasn't
name with
exactly
anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
aware of what
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, I mean us personally.
Another nat
Oh, yeah,
20.
like as individuals. Yeah, no, sweet.
See, the sword works for him.
And 3. So 9 total.
Yep.
So we're rolling
So
this.
the nat 20 obviously hits, the 9 does not.
Right.
You get double attack.
Level 5 paladin. Baby.
Yep.
All right.
A picture bullet one.
So there's that. Okay. And then I need D8. Rerolling 1s and 2s.
Oh, you rolled 2s?
Reroll on two-handed weapon strikes.
Yep.
Ooh.
Alright, so that gets rerolled, and I get to roll that again because it's 2d8. So that was 5. Plus 3, that's 8. Plus 9 is 17. Times 2, 34. Plus 3, 37.
Dang.
Actually, I'd pull up a calculator for that.
Plus 3 because of my
You said
strength.
Yeah,
30?
because
You
of
said
that.
37 total?
37.
37. Was that after the plus 3?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, 34, then my strength modifier, 37.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought I set him high.
Smite. Well, I have critted twice.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So
the first time we fought him, we were rolling bad.
you
Kind of going ham and nuking this guy.
you swing the and you guys have kind of focused him a little bit here too. So you swing,
The other one's not in range.
yeah.
So whenever his turn comes around again, it's moonbeam time.
Good luck with that. So you swing down and you cleave straight through him. As you do, he turns into mist, a black shadowy mist. The helmet drops to the ground, clatters down, and he's gone. Nothing left except for the helmet
Helmet.
and face mask.
The mask.
And the
faceless
black
mask,
robes
yeah.
that he was wearing are all piled below where he was, and he is just little wisps of blackness kind of fading away. He is, as far as you would be aware, gone now.
Yep.
Possibly killed and banished, or
Just like the snake.
something similar to what happened with Sanasa after annihilating him.
Yes, nice.
After that, I just
If only you had been awake when this first happened.
no.
And so now, Bryn, the last remaining enemy in this space at this moment is the queen up above the space.
Change your mind yet?
We'd like to be leaving now.
And
And if not, I'll move the moonbeam on top of her.
Yeah, just shift.
she is.
Does that moonbeam, is it just a beam of light that just stays there? Because that's what it does
It's-
in WoW,
yeah, it's
right?
like
Concentration.
It's just
it's like this
Wow.
this beam of white light that just kind of pulsates from him.
It has like a dot effect, so it's kind
Oh,
of like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Shines down at 5 foot.
I am
Yeah.
picturing the
By
moonkin doing the
Yeah.
little,
High cylinder.
phew,
Yep.
moonbeam.
It's almost like you broke a hole in the ceiling
Boomkin.
kind of thing. So
Boomkin. Boomkin.
Oh.
she
God, get it right.
is not appearing to be yielding on this.
Okay.
Mace would like to go to prison to get stronger now.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're moving Moonbeam
One
to her
day.
then? So do whatever. What do we got to do for that?
You got to do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Wow. Surprisingly, only a 4 plus whatever the bonuses are, which probably can't possibly be enough. It's a
Probably
13,
Never
right?
enough.
15. is
15.
my
Oh yeah,
save.
no, she does no.
She's got a modifier of 12.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes,
No.
super screwed.
It would be not that, but yeah. So you do exactly that
You
thing.
need my D10. There you go. Oh, there you go. That's a 10.
Nope, sure is. 17.
17 points of damage. Okay.
Thank you.
So as you hit her, and I had skipped her turn kind of for this, actually, thinking this would probably happen. You hit her with the moonbeam, and her form begins to shift. Sees her skin like pulses and bubbles, and for a moment you think, Oh, that was easy. And then suddenly it like
Like, no.
bursts off and the flesh just falls to the ground. And growing out of this space, you are now confronted with a young female black dragon.
Oh, okay. I was expecting a dragon.
She writhes back, and this she has these pinchers kind of around her face, like her horns come down in this manner to almost look spider-like in the face, and she's stares at you, and you hear this voice in your head answering your previous question of if she was going to back down or not. I'm going to kill you all. And she
Do I hear it
will.
in my head?
Yeah, you all hear it. And she's going to jump down on top of Maze and do a claw attack, which is
Any relation to Guthak?
Is,
Get all you black dragons
always
things.
that.
Maze adjacent to me?
would
yes,
be,
directly
yeah.
beside you. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm gonna make a sentinel strike.
Okay,
because
perfect.
I took that feat.
And she is going to do a 16 to hit,
Okay.
and so that does hit, right?
Yeah, that does hit.
Which is 13 points of damage
All right.
of the claw attack.
The claw.
And then she's going to, you're going to do your sentinel attack, so what was it?
Dirty 20.
So yeah, that hits.
Okay. Reroll that.
It needed more range.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
12.
Okay, 12. And that's the first damage
that's
against
my-
her.
I'm pretty saving this mites for crit. My last mite for crits. If they happen.
So that was 12 points of damage, and then she's moving like in motion with this. She's gonna come down and kind of more just like smashes you down to the ground, but rakes her claws through you in the same moment, and is then going to kind of spin around you to be flanking basically you with Kale. So you're between her and Kale at this point, as opposed to being directly in the center of all of you.
So wait, did she just like put her claw on me and then spin around like like when you go to stomp out a
Kinda,
cigarette
yeah.
butt?
In
like,
essence,
I'm
that's
just
exactly
under
what
this-
happened,
Okay, that's
yeah.
what I'm picturing.
And that
I'm
is
a butt.
that is her turn, which brings us now. Technically, she was supposed to go before Bryn, but brings us Bryn, your wolves, because Halfgren sees this and kind of steps back in awe, and it skips his turn and comes to your wolves that you still have.
He readies in action.
Yep.
Can these wolves support us, like a la mounts?
Can they?
Rideable?
Not.
They're
They're
not-
medium.
I would
size.
They're
I'd
medium
say
beasts.
Probably not.
Definitely not Kale. He's
Kale would be a problem. Coral could do it. And you could possibly make it work, but it'd actually probably be slower than just your own speed at that point, because it'd be like a burden onto them.
Yeah.
You could just Aquaman and ride two at
So
once.
it's a great idea. You could possibly,
Aquaman
yeah, almost. Yeah, you'd have to almost like fashion something to make it work, but to actually just jump on and be like, yeah,
But not die.
probably
I
not
don't
gonna
want to fight a dragon.
work.
He's gonna peace out now.
So you've got options, though. I mean, you do have the option to escape.
We could have left.
With half the people. Not an option. Well,
Came back with more.
I don't think that would work there.
she's definitely out of moonbeam range now. But I'm on wolves right now.
Yeah, because it's
Let's
wolf
have
turn.
all 8 just jump on her.
Okay, perfect. So roll that.
Small.
Just one
Yeah.
overall attack.
Yeah. Do it with advantage just because it is as all
Just
as
start
one.
a howl.
Well, they've got pack.
And they have pack anyways, yeah.
Ooh.
That was a 13. That one was a 20.
Dirty.
Okay, so the 20 does hit.
Dirty 20. Start a howl.
Dirty or otherwise.
The best kind of 20. Ugh, look at all that.
That's a 53.
53 points of damage? Jesus Christ.
All
Who
them
are
wolves.
you?
It's 8 wolves.
That's 8
Oh,
wolves.
yeah, that's
8
right.
wolves. Each one has
Perfect.
2d4.
Yeah, yeah.
Attack
I'm doing
damage.
half of that with one sword.
Oh,
How much did you say?
also, sorry, it was 53.
53.
Also, they have to succeed on a DC 11 strength saving throw. That'll probably be pretty easy.
Almost succeeds on that without even rolling.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Rolls in that one.
Succeeds, yeah.
That
What was,
one.
what was the strength for? Like, because the wolves are
knock
on
her
her?
prone.
It would knock her prone.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, how?
8 wolves knock a dragon.
Eight
wolves.
It is a young black dragon as far as stats go,
Young
but
adult.
yeah, so
Always
yeah,
been
kind
So
of
she's
young adult
only
is
like
more correct.
300.
Yeah, young adult is more correct because it's kind of a middle ground scenario here, but yeah. So yeah. Anyways, so your wolves are done, and Maze, you have been clawed
Yep.
in the face by a dragon, and you are now face to face with her.
I just trying to kill a relative of yours.
Jesus.
Actually, that's a long story. Maybe we can't really get
Maybe.
into this. It
We
depends
don't
on
know.
depends on your theology. But you know, let's focus on this.
I'll just take my dagger and because I'm close to her.
Yeah, like
Okay.
connected in the moment.
I tried to follow and be well behaved. I even tried to leave. But now I have to break your rules of hospitality. And I go to stab her.
Okay. Roll your attack.
Roll for attack. 14. Wait, what does my dagger do?
You've got a proficiency.
I do have a proficiency somewhere because I have like martial weapons.
Should just
Huh?
be, yeah.
Under actions.
+4.
Oh, +4. See, I haven't been adding that. 18.
To hit.
Sorry, I'm looking at something that this can do.
Okay.
You're riding the wolves. That was probably a good idea. 18 to hit
Yeah.
does hit,
Okay.
just barely.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that damage plus. Oh God, what's my? There's a thing, you know, that once I stab her, but I gotta see what I gotta do for the damage first. 1d4. Dagger doesn't do a lot.
+1. It's a little tiny.
2,
The blade is like.
but so 2 damage,
Okay.
which I'm going to activate. Is it Savage?
Oh, okay.
No, that's like a once.
Savage attack.
Oh no, that's like once I could re-roll melee attack. No, there's something. It's
Channel divinity of some kind?
Touch of Death. When you, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hit a creature, I could spend a Channel Divinity
To do an extra 15. So yeah, you can
points of
just click
necrotic.
that. You have that one, so it's marked off. You don't have any more of those, but you've done 15 extra points on top of the 2.
The 2, yes.
So a total of 17. And
Does
after...
that trigger? No, I can't do that. My vampiric touch to get health back. Never mind.
No, you'd have to.
No,
You'd have to.
I'd have to
That'd be
actually do that.
separate.
Yeah.
Are you moving or anything?
Oh, I thought it was like stuck underneath her.
Not like stuck. You're just like connected in the
Is
sense
this
of
still
like right
flanking
there.
to where it's a vantage?
No,
for...
there was no. No, it gets the opposite. If Kale was an enemy of yours, which he might be in this instance, but no, the opposite. You're between her and Kale. You're like Kale's shield.
like would I give him benefit of
No.
flanking?
No,
Okay,
because
I'm
you're
gonna move
between
to
the
where
two.
I would give him a benefit.
You would have to go to the
flank.
other side of her. And what's your
Movement's
speed's
30 feet.
feet?
Yeah.
She's probably.
Yeah, you could like
large.
pretty much just do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just get to the other side of like her whole tail flailing and such. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
I
now
shall do
behind
that.
her, by yourself behind her, and the 3 companions you have, and all the wolves are on the other side at this moment.
Okay.
Perfect. So that brings us around back to Kale.
You're never gonna believe this, but I'm gonna hit it
With your sword?
with my sword.
What?
Twice, hopefully.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
22
22 does hit, yeah.
and 24.
24. Yeah, both hit. Of course, 22 hits, the 24 hits.
All right. So
Well, you
first
never
roll.
know. Could
Right.
be like opposite day all of a
First
sudden.
roll No smite.
It's like only over this number hits.
13.
Points of damage. Yep.
Yeah, for the first attack. And then plus another 11, so 24 total.
Okay.
Just good old smacking at damage.
Oh, plus 11 on that. So
Yeah,
it's-
because I hit her with
yeah,
two attacks.
So I'm at that plus 11 is
Is
okay.
that like flanking bonus damage or anything? Or something when they attack someone.
No, you would have actually been flanking, so you would have had advantage.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
only for
your
advantage,
stuff.
but he
How about
already
this? I'll
rolled.
roll 2 times, and if I get a nat 20 on that one, we'll double it.
So
Okay.
that's the only reason why you would do that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so
Okay, I wasn't sure how
perfect.
that worked.
So you've done that, and then it comes around to
Solid 24 damage.
her turn.
Damage.
She
You guys have not been hit yet.
she turns to you after watching Maze kind of run off. You hit her in the side. Her head wraps back around to you and then lashes out. She does a bite attack against you, which is a where's that die at? There you are. Which is a where's her bonuses at? Is a 16 to hit.
Armor class is 16.
So it hits.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if
yeah.
how we rolled. I'd never
Right, yeah. If it hits
if
it counts
meets,
kind of thing, yeah.
The challenge
mhm.
got to it, so yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that is where's those die at? Those ones. Yeah. Where'd you go? Come here. That is 11 points of damage.
Oof. Not a big oof, but an oof.
A lot of new fall the same, right? Yeah. And that is her turn. Yeah. Yeah, that's her. That's the end of her turn. So now we're back around to Bryn.
Me. You still feeling okay?
I'm feeling great, man.
All right, good.
2/3 of my HP.
Cool.
I can
That's
heal myself.
plenty. Yeah.
Just sit there and just like lay on hands to soak up the damage.
Right.
while you were.
Honestly, I feel like the
Finish him off.
best play is still just move my moonbeam. Is it still? It's not in range anymore because she can't.
No,
move
she
down.
moved.
Yeah, she's off the thing,
Yeah.
so you would have to
Okay.
move it.
Yeah, let's move the moonbeam again.
Okay, perfect. Well, how much does that do?
Um,
Or what I have
you
to
gotta
do on
do
that?
Constitution 15.
Moving on the moonbeam.
Which is a.
That's a full action to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recast it or?
I just
Just,
moved.
Just
it's
like
like it's kind of the
redirect it?
same thing, but
Yeah.
you like slide it across. It's
Yeah.
the equivalent of recasting it. That
it's only
is
up to a minute as well.
a
Okay, so you get like 10 rounds.
yeah. So at this point, it probably not now, but like you'd have like one more round with it or something like that, 1 or 2 at this point. And that was only a 11, so does not actually succeed on it. Rolled really low.
14.
14 additional points of damage. Okay.
6.
Yeah.
Plus 2. That's
Plus, yeah.
So
9
the
plus 6 is
Oh, that's
15.
a 9. I thought that was 6.
Yeah.
oh,
So, yeah, what he said.
So,
So that's
15,
17.
17.
perfect.
You're getting
Okay.
17 like every time that you're rolling on this.
I'm okay
moonbeam.
with that. Yeah.
Right. So
Out of
you
possible.
focus the moon energy and it moves over and lights up like right in her face and just she kind of turns back away from it and kind of flails a little bit trying to escape out of it. Does not succeed in doing so and takes that damage. Then it comes back around to Halfgren, who is going to just run up, cast the shillelagh on his staff, and spin it around and strike up against her in the face. And as he goes to swing, her flailing kind of, and he just misses, and then comes back like he's going to do a second attack, but that was his turn. which brings us down to your wolves. How long do they stay up? Wait,
Fangy boy.
are they concentration? Yeah.
I think if
So pick one. Wolves or Moonbeam?
Yeah, I'll keep the wolves.
Okay.
Whoops.
Yep.
Breaking the game. On accident.
had a brief moment of like taste of overpowered, and
Right.
it's just like,
So,
crap.
yeah.
That's your fault. I blame you. The wolves are 15.
To hit?
Or
Yeah, because that
an 11.
does not hit. They start to come towards her, but the flailing around and the claws smashing down into the earth, sending up like rocks around from the steel, or from the floor. She just is flailing so much now, trying to get out of this beam that had hit her previously. Is now dissipating, so she's kind of coming back
angry
into
about it.
her
Like, this is
into her rage, and the wolves don't actually move forward. They kind of snap at a distance. And that brings us around to Maze.
I'm going to just hit her again. Melee attack.
Okay, go for it.
9. What is that?
On your actions.
Yeah, always click on the wrong tab. 13.
13 to hit, does not hit.
Okay.
Natural numbers too high.
Okay, and that is then back to Kale.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna hit it with my sword.
Nice work, impressive.
These people are getting pantsy.
What gave you that?
Yeah,
And all this,
exactly.
and I'm like, just 24,
Somebody turned into a dragon, and here you are, just like swinging away.
just 24 turn.
Yeah.
Just hacking away. All right. I have advantage, yeah.
Yeah, flanking. Yeah.
Also
Okay.
flanking.
All right. So first attack hits
What is it?
25.
Yeah.
Second attack hits 25.
Okay.
Reroll that one. Okay, good
The
enough.
second roll never wants
It
to
counts.
stay in.
All right. So what's a little die? 9 for the first attack.
Okay.
It's a feisty little die.
It's tiny. It doesn't like to sit around. And 11, so 20 total
Okay.
over both attacks.
Okay. Interesting. Starting to look actually a little hurt. See a couple of open wounds even on this dragon scale. And it comes to her turn now, and it's actually going to do a double attack, swinging to turn and face Maze. And in this turn, she's going to swing her tail at the one who's been doing the most damage to her.
Bryn, the wolves.
Yeah. Kind of in like a sweeping motion, it almost would theoretically in that manner. Yeah, you have all of them still.
Is he
But against
Jason?
Kale, who's the
Oh, I'm like,
most
is
threatening of
he-
threats
is he
at this
adjacent
moment.
to me?
And so that is. Oh, actually. Yeah, actually, the multi-attack is 3 attacks. I read it wrong. So, just going to swing the tail, and it's going to connect with, possibly, with Kale and Bryn. The attack
tail.
roll for that is, for Kale, first on the list, is a 17. Actually, no, it's not 17. It's a 20-something, so yeah, that hits.
Yeah, it's-
I'm reading wrong. And then for Bryn is more than a 20-something. So both of you get hit.
That'll do it.
Is he adjacent?
To you, yeah, you guys are beside each other. And you're technically within range there. Well, you can swing your sword at her? Go ahead and do it. You hold the sword up as this comes in, and we'll see if you do any damage on that. And
Nat 20.
okay, perfect. Roll damage.
Crit.
And then I'll also roll damage too.
Yeah. 21.
21. Okay.
Like as she swings her tail, I see just the right.
And you just kind of like bring the sword up and slice into the tail, and then the tail hits you right in the face,
a major artery,
right?
Leg or something.
Doing 13 points of damage to you, of bludgeoning damage.
I mean, you know, I'm not feeling good.
And then to Bryn,
I'm feeling bad.
it does 15 points of damage.
Ouch.
I mean, we're getting chunky.
And then for the third attack, she turns to Maze, and only you hear this, Maze.
Okay.
This is you. She rears back and lets out this acidic flame of like reddish, greenish, orange flames that kind of trickle into each other, scarring the floor as they lurch towards you. I need you to make a dexterity save.
Oh, I am not the most dexterous character there is. It's
19.
18. Wait, where's my dex?
Dexterity.
Oh, yeah, 19.
19. Okay. So you take half as much damage, which is... Which die am I on?
Is that a fire?
It is technically like an acid.
Okay, so not fire.
One,
I only asked because I have
two,
fire
three,
resistance.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh. I don't have enough dice for this.
Go, great.
That's a
That's what you
problem.
want to hear. Yes.
Okay. Hold on here.
It's
Literally,
okay. You
like
don't
this
have
is
to
what's
roll
really nice about
anymore,
having
yeah.
this whole digital DM screen situation going is I've got a calculator right here. So that plus, whoops, no, C. And then ready yourselves
Forgot to smite her.
as well.
Should have smited on that crit. Oh well.
And then Maze, how much hit points do you have?
I only have 15.
Okay, I haven't gotten through all the dice yet, but
Just gonna obliterate her? Was it like double what you currently have, and then that's just annihilated?
Yeah, I think so.
you said 15?
Yeah.
It does
15.
double
Okay.
your max HP.
Oh.
What's your max?
Because if you
38.
get like 1 damage, it's
30
only
what, 3?
2.
Oh, no, 38 is my max.
38's your max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Drop my little chart.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So it's always great when you're standing here, like, wait, I gotta roll these dice and I gotta use a calculator.
And then roll more of
And then
them
roll
because I didn't
more.
have enough.
Just to see how dead I
This is
am.
why I used roll 20.
Yeah, that came in the end.
I was like, I'm not dealing with that.
And then I have to divide because you did succeed, so I have to divide it by 2.
Carry the
And
Down.
so you take 27 points of acid damage.
Alright.
Ouch.
Beyond dead, I just melted.
Yeah.
You're asleep.
So,
Boop. Yeah, that's right. Deactivated my touch.
and does that? I forget the specifics. Is that full out or is that just unconscious? Because it's
I think
an
that's just unconscious.
double.
I think you
Anymore if
can't
you
do a
drop
full
down.
out.
Yeah.
I think you have to go
Yeah, yeah.
unconscious before it could be fully out.
It can't.
Unless-
You can be fully.
You
Yeah,
can? Just
but
like
I think
from
it's
women?
like
If there's enough damage.
15, 50.
I think it's like double your max HP. Though.
I mean,
Like it's
May's hearing her
Like
say
if
that.
you would have not made the save, you probably would have been full out.
Gotcha.
I mean, 57.
I mean,
yeah.
I heard her say that. May's just clutched like the little charm thing that she wears that basically had that leaf in it.
Mhm.
She's just clutching it because she knows this is it.
Okay. So we're going to be skipping Maze's turn at this moment
Yep.
and going back to Kale.
So, how's she looking?
The dragon?
Said she was
Right.
pretty hurt.
Hurt. Not dying, but injured. You're seeing scars. Black blood is falling from her body. she is still alert, aware, and able to attack. Not hindered in any capacity, but hurt.
I'm gonna hit it with my sword.
Perfect.
What? No way.
Do I still get advantage because I've got allies on the other side of the?
Yeah, they dead ally on the other side, basically. So no.
I still benefit you in death?
Well,
No,
I was
he
thinking
would
about the
not.
wolves.
Oh, would not.
The wolves all came from one side, so no.
Okay. Well, cut. 20 and 24.
Those both hit. Yep.
It's impressive.
That's better. 8 for the first one. And 9 for the second, so 17.
17. Which is... Okay. Starting to look much more hurt now. But... Wow. Wait, did we skipped... That was done out of order. Bryn, you should have gone. So Bryn now would go. My mistake on that.
Did Bryn have
Because...
wolves?
So it was, Bryn and wolves
Bryn
and
and
Halfgren.
wolves,
So I
yeah.
did Queen, and then I reset back to you because we
Okay.
skipped Maze, but Maze wasn't up yet. So whatever.
So
you did
Bryn
a thing, but now Bryn, and then we'll just, after Bryn and the wolves go, then we'll go to her,
Okay.
and then we'll be back to fine.
Alright.
So Bryn, you are up now.
I would like to. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Kale.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So you get 11 points.
That's pretty good.
And then as a bonus action, I am going to, let's see here. I would like to wild shape into a direwolf.
Okay. Perfect.
Lead the pack.
Very much.
Leader of the pack.
Shaman of the pack.
That is true.
Okay.
I see you two are cultured
Yes.
and watched Day 9
Okay.
and the Spellbreakers on YouTube.
So that's Bryn.
Perfect. And yeah, you did your action to cast and your bonus to wild shape. So yeah, perfect. And then Halfgren being right up against is going to swing back with that second swing that he was kind of preparing to do. And
Smackety smack.
is Jesus. Well, Shillelagh, I forgot that. So he does have that still on that. Just hits. So he actually does do something.
I'm like, that'd be disappointing if he.
Right, he's
like,
he's
been
actually
preparing this, it's
pretty
like-
powerful. It's just
He did kill 4 dudes with 1 spell.
yeah,
That is
it's
true.
so like
Let's
that's
not ignore
so
that.
4 dudes with 1 spell is kind of his power level, but
Yeah.
trying to have you guys play the game.
Right.
But he just did 11 points of damage to her, and she is now looking quite hurt.
It's both. I have both.
Shit. So she is looking quite hurt now, and it is your wolves' turns.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Poopy dogs go.
That's going to be a 21.
Okay. Yep.
21.
Okay. And damage.
Wolf, yeah. They're gonna wolf her
This is
down,
the one that.
right?
Yeah. Theoretically.
54.
54.
Been averaging in the 50s, man.
Jesus.
Well, it is 16 D4s
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
16. So minimum is 32.
That's crazy.
How much did you say again?
54.
54.
And then strength of 11 check. which is probably going to have work.
She just whiffs it.
Yeah, she does succeed on that.
But if she just whiffs it, and it's like she's
somehow-
prone.
Yeah, she does succeed on
Oh, yeah,
that.
that's what
However,
you're
she
saying,
is
yeah.
very,
Hurt.
very hurt at the moment. Theoretically, based on what you guys have done previously, she would be able to be made dead if somebody was able to hit her now. However, it is her turn, and she does have, let's see, I'll make sure I'm not doing anything out of turn incorrectly or anything like that. Yeah, multi-attack is just whatever. So she's going to do the multi-attack again. This time turning to Halfgren and swinging down on him with one claw, swinging down on Bryn with the other claw, and then
Is Halfgren adjacent to me?
using no, he's actually not. He would be
Bryn is.
he would be
Kinda like
adjacent
me. I
to
haven't
Bryn,
moved.
but he's not adjacent to you.
But Bryn is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got the
So
one,
That's at
man.
and
Oh, living on the edge.
and what am I doing here?
Oh.
Yeah, 2 attacks, and then the third one will be different. Wow, F those dice. I should have been kept using the other ones that I was using. Straight up doesn't hit. Rolled a 1 and a 3 on those. However,
Really?
there is still the third attack, and with the third attack missing into the ground as you two dodge away, the two druids here. Well, druid and a wolf. Actually, what's your
He's a direwolf.
14? Yeah, you're fine. She's then going to turn back to her prey. She is going to lash out at you with a bite attack, which is just going to hit because you're where you are. She's going to grab a hold of you, pick you up, and sling your body out at these 3 that are here.
The driven thing
And-
I was expecting.
In that,
Just carries me off.
Spoiler.
Spoiler, yeah.
will cause a total of, is that right? Where's that?
I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm getting.
I know
ready to
he's
roll
warming
damage.
up the dice. He's
Yeah,
like,
which
I'm
is, I
ready,
mean,
man.
in sequence, it's not going to affect what happens here. You're still going to probably kill her, but it does 18 more points of damage. So
How does that work? I'm already dead. That's
you're-
just an automatic death
so-
fail, right?
yeah, so yeah, it's actually it's more than that. But
Okay, yeah.
we'll get back to the effects of you as Kale takes his swing.
Yeah, go for it. Can you
Nine.
re-roll it again? Or
You can re-roll each die once
oh,
on a
okay.
2 or a 1.
Gotcha.
So 9 total.
Damage or to hit, or is it Sentinel? You get an like.
Well, so
You get
I
a
rolled
swing.
I rolled
He rolled
an
it.
18.
Oh, you rolled your 18.
natural
Okay, yeah.
Plus
So that
6,
does
so
hit.
24. So that was gonna hit.
Yeah.
So I was just like
Oh,
preparing
so
my damage roll.
what is your
Quick.
damage?
9.
9, which only has to be, I think, less than that. So
Does he do it?
yes, by 3. So she
Yes.
swings her head around and throws Maze from her jaws. And as the momentum of the head comes in contact with the edge of your blade, you sever
Oh, that's
the head,
awesome.
and it goes flying along over Maze and slides into the
It
wall.
still eats me.
And
Yeah, and then Maze
Hits
slides
one of the
in
pillars.
Into the mouth.
then Maze
I still get eaten by a dead dragon.
Maze is the two of you see Maze hit, kind of fall down the steps, and laying now at the base of the steps up to this throne. You see that she's clutching onto the leaf from Morelia, still holding it just barely in her hands. You see it kind of poking through the top, and it's glowing brighter and brighter and brighter, enveloping Maze's entire body in this weird, deep purple, reddish glow that's continuing to emanate into a brighter light to the point where you guys are kind of having to shield your eyes, and then it kind of slowly fades back down, and you look back, and then it just into flames. These flames, purple and white flames, just swirl violently around Maze's body, and it starts to kind of rise up from the ground slightly. And there is a flash of white. And Bryn, make a perception check for me.
I see nothing.
All you needed was like a 5. Okay, I'll make a.
That is a 5.
Is it a
Super
5? Is it a 5 with your thing?
bright
With my
Best
bonus.
I can do is
A 5 is actually what I set it at because
That's
it's
what
pretty
you
easy
said,
to
best
see.
you
well,
need
here's
is
the
a
problem.
five.
It was a nat 1.
Okay, you roll 2.
Yeah.
Fucking roll for half Bryn as well. Did you really? Did you as well? As far as,
Can dead
as far
Maze
as the
pursue
2 of
this?
you
No, I'm
are
kidding.
aware, you've seen what you've seen. Roll for your wolves.
Doggos.
Coral, quick, wake up and
see-
roll.
Doggos. Take a
Maze
That's a
disappear.
17
Okay.
for the wolves.
So all the wolves you see kind of circle around this area, following up the body during all of this, unaffected with their form, unaffected by the light here, in wonder and awe, all surrounding this space. And then as the light explodes, they all kind of bend down towards the ground. You hear Coral kind of.
She made it! Did Maze make it? No.
Did you win? There's a dragon! What the?
Oh, that's right. The dragon's
Things
head is like
happen.
right next to.
Yeah, so
She picks up the knife that you never picked up. Like, they're all dead.
it turns out she turned into her true form after you killed her.
Oh, that's
She
adorable.
takes the knife and sticks it like in
It's
this
like a
rope.
sword for her,
And then
right?
she runs over, and then she runs over and like clambers up your back again, and then sits on your shoulder this time
Yeah.
instead of like hiding
Just like
behind
sits.
you. Yeah, she's
like-
just sitting there like.
It's like,
Yep. Do it, Ben.
Yep.
Yep.
And Halfgrin then says, "Bren, look here. The ground." And you see this little mote of light. And the ground starts to kind of crack. And growing from there is a small tree.
Yay.
It begins to rise from the space where Maze had fallen. It's not large, it's still like a sapling size as this time begins to pass, about 5 to 10 minutes here of time of it kind of time-lapsing, growing from the space, only about 3 feet tall or so, black-trunked with a multitude of these black leaves or dark maroon leaves with a light edge shining around them. Similar to the trees that were in this space, however, in the jungle on your way in, however, much healthier and stronger, more mimicking the tree that you saw within Morelia's house. You look at that, there is no body left from where Maze was. There are no leaves that have fallen, no belongings, no items here. Maze is gone from the room. And you and Kale, Halfgrin and Coral are now assassins of the queen of this underdark city, hidden within the Cloudspire Mountains. You personally, Bryn, feel a sense of pride in accomplishing this task of ridding this evil from your homeland, in essence, with it being so close. Reuniting with your mentor and having a whole new world ahead of you after what you've accomplished. Kale, you feel mixed emotions You are satisfied that you won. You're satisfied that you have smote this evil. But there is a sense within you, kind of a weight of melancholy in a way. Of just not sadness, but
Can I take it?
similar.
Can I take it? From
Sure,
here?
yeah.
So it's not sadness. It's just foreboding because like I've been prophesied to become the vessel for my God, and so as I continue to do these greater and greater deeds, I'm becoming more and more like the God of my choice, and so it's not melancholy, but it's this weird sense of foreboding of like, did I choose this? Did I have a choice in this? And also, when does it end?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's kind of this weight attached to this maze. You feel a searing pain as a dragon snaps its jaws around you. You feel weightless through the air, and then pain again as you hit the steps of this throne. You feel your body falling down the last 3 steps, lying on your back. As you feel your breath begin to leave you for the last time, something happens within you. This feeling of like a cold, tingling sensation like passes through your entire body and then begins to warm from your hands, warming more and more, as if you're in an oven or a furnace. And you then see blackness. And in a moment, vision seems to return to you, but you feel weightless, lost, confused. You see stars. You look towards them, and you begin to travel towards them. But you're not walking, you're flying or something of that nature. And without thought, you begin to pass through space. There are stars shooting past you. A vortex of galaxies surround you. And then you feel ground beneath you, a soil of some kind. You look about. There are waterfalls. There's a river that leads from the falls to a lake, and then after the lake leads out, you're surrounded by mountains, but all of them don't feel cold, they don't feel hot like desert mountains or anything. They're not the mountains you were just in, as far as you can tell, and there are a multitude of cherry blossom trees growing. And then in front of you, you see a black tree, similar to what you've seen previously within Morelia's space. You see this as a massive tree, though. It's very different from the one you saw, but you can tell it's the same type of tree. The light in this entire world seems to be stemming from this tree. Everything is this muted kind of pink across the clouded sky, similar to the effect you see as the sun is setting before a large storm. All the greens of the grass are vibrant and bright. The water is not clear from where you see. It's a aqua blue, shimmering like diamonds are falling off of it. You wander around, looking. You see nothing else, no other life, just this space, this magical forest. And suddenly, one of the branches of the tree, you hear the familiar sound of flapping wings. A white raven lands on one of the branches. Well now, a voice you hear in your head. Gotten yourself into quite a bit of trouble. It's a good thing Morelia likes you. And that is where we will pick up when we return to this, which is not next week.
It is not.
It is going to be the week after that, where Kalitstrats, Halfgren, Bryn, and their new companion,
Pack of wolves.
along with their pack of wolves,
Yes.
And
will
Rides a wolf.
and Coral will attempt to
did we win? The dragon's dead, Coral.
will attempt to see what their
Coral, you did it.
We killed the
newfound
king,
situation is, trying to maybe still escape the city or something else. New threats will come about for the two of them and their companions, and then we'll see where things go with Maze later on. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you all hanging out here, especially with us going just a little bit longer than normal. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Next week, we will be running Saruman's one-shot, so be really excited for that. You're going to see me as a player alongside Robert, and we'll see if maybe we get somebody else thrown in here as well. So, adios.
Roll it.